The following is a special presentation of WSAV Sports. The Hilton Head Seahawks are a blue-collar group with the grit to win games in a lot of different ways. The addition of Javen Risher from Hampden County appears to be the missing ingredient to their championship recipe. The May River Sharks have swum under the radar this season. Their winning edge comes from Sean Mitchell, who leads the conference in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. Now, two teams that weren't expected here at the beginning of the season stand on the precipice of the region crown. The championship chase comes to a close next on WSAV CW. Than a Mustang, more powerful than an F-150, the WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week is on the air. Powered by O.C. Welch Ford Lincoln.
And power will be the name of the game right here as Hilton Head opens up their eyes to the possibility of a region title. First one in a very, very long time. At the same point, May River, though, they're ready to run all over those Seahawks. They believe their offense is the one to beat when it comes to this region right here in 4A. It is title time right here in the Low Country. Hilton Head taking on May River live from the May River Stadium right here in the LC. And I'm with Mr. LC himself, Loco Sports, Justin Jarrett. Justin, a lot of people would say, oh, well, Charleston people, well, they'd probably win this division, or maybe there would be two teams from our area, but these aren't the two they necessarily thought about to win the region.
Yeah, I mean, Bishop England out of Charleston was the defending region champion, and you expected them to be very good again. Both of these teams beat them in successive weeks, and then you've got Bluffton was the team everyone was looking at preseason with the transfers and the explosive offense, but Hilton Head has already taken them down, and you look at their remaining schedule, a win tonight likely means that first region championship since 2008.
Since 2008 for Hilton Head, if that happens. So last week, though, it was all about Hilton Head out here taking out that Bishop England team, which everybody thought might win this whole region, but instead, Hilton Head took them to the woodshed by the time they were finished, ran all over them, kicked the ball through. 41-10 was your final. Today, different challenge than what Bishop England offered on this one. Keys to the game for the Seahawks. BJ Payne says they've got to stay focused and they've got to stay in their lanes against this offense. No turnovers at any point. You can't give up a big play on defense. A big run would kill them.
Yeah, they've really got to get stops on first and second down, put May River into third and long situations where they're forced to go to the air or less likely to convert on the ground, because that slot T, they want to ground and pound. They don't want to put it in the air if they don't have to. They save it for that one spot where they know it's going to connect for a big play.
May River's got that slot T offense. We'll tell you more about that in a minute. But in the meantime, they played Bishop England just a couple weeks ago, and really, we're talking about playing in a phone booth. They just ran only 2 possessions in the first half for all of Bishop England because May River held the ball that long. They end up walking away with this one 14-7 with the big one. Both these teams undefeated in the region. May River, well, it's going to be real simple. They're going to key on running the ball, holding the ball for as long as possible, and keeping it away from an offense from Hilton Head that is absolutely explosive. Defensively, they've got to look to the pass just as much as the run.
Yeah, I mean, May River would love to score fast, but they'd prefer to score slow. You know, they want to take as much time off the clock as possible. Certainly Hilton had more multidimensional on offense, and I really love the development of their quarterback, Derek Renegess.
Should we see what's going on over here? We're going to take it out to the coin toss right now in the middle of the field.
Good luck to you tonight, okay? Good luck. Good luck. Do you have any questions for me before we start? I know it's an important game. I know it's a rivalry game, all right? So you guys control your teammates, control your emotions, all right? If we're talking to you, we're just trying to help you. If you want to speak to me, I'll talk to you at any time. I just expect you're going to speak to me the way I'm going to speak to you, all right? Black, you talk to your guys, we'll talk to you, all right? All right, I'm going to introduce the rest of the crew. This is Al, this is Dwayne, Luke. Daniel's going to step forward for the coin toss. Hilton Head, you guys are the visiting team. State of South Carolina is heads. That shield is tails. Heads, tails. What's the call going to be? Tails. Tails was called. I'm going to flip it and let it hit the ground. Tails was called. It is head. River, you've won the toss. You want the ball. What end do you want to kick from?
We're defending this.
All right, so go ahead and put your back to that goal down there. May River, your backs to this goal down here. May River won the toss. They've elected to receive. Guys, shake hands. Bring your teams out. Good luck.
Will receive to begin tonight's contest. right, so there you have it. It'll be very interesting to see how this game starts because, Justin, we're talking about control of the clock, but also putting up early points. Hilton Head wants to score early because there's the comeback ability of the team from May River not right there. Hank Tatum's on the field to talk a little bit about the offense from May River, which is something we don't see very often.
Yeah, guys, you talked about it earlier, but this offense is the slot T offense, courtesy of Liberty Hill High School in Austin, Texas. And it's something that May River's been working on for a few years. And so what that means is it's going to be a very run-heavy offense that runs up to the line of scrimmage quickly and snaps the ball almost immediately. Now, there's going to be motion and misdirection, and it's all about confusing the defense and the viewer at home as to who actually has the ball. Now, how run-heavy is this offense? Well, last week they didn't attempt a single pass all game, and they've only attempted 8 this entire season. So for Hilton Head's side and head coach B.J. Payne, you know May River is going to run the ball at you. How do you stop it? He said it's about discipline. He knows those guys are going to be running, so it's about filling the gaps and having that gap integrity on defense. If they can do it tonight, Hilton Head may be on their way to their first region title since 2008.
That would mean a lot, Hank, no doubt. Appreciate the breakdown on that offense, which will be really interesting to look at. Not a lot of teams play it, and that keeps them in games. May River with not a lot of players, they say, so we're going to do the best. Short kick for Hilton Head up to only about the 30. Picked up there and thrown down immediately. Nothing doing. Justin Head with the return. Couple guys on there for Hilton Head on the defensive side. So they don't kick it deep. They don't want to get into some situation with a big kickoff. We said special teams are going to be key. Keep them behind the ball.
Yeah, that's one of their strategies that they do on the kickoff. Special teams definitely important, although if May River can run its offensive effectively, the slot T mafia out here, they can chew up clock with that long field. So we'll see how this first series goes, but certainly they're going to run the ball.
And quick to the line and quick turn right there, and that's Luke Tran, the quarterback. He's going to gain 2, maybe 3 yards on that one, and that's about it. So it's an interesting system where they go to the sidelines, then get the call and run right up to the line and almost call it immediately.
Yeah, it also, as the game goes on, it can give the defense fits because they don't have a lot of time to substitute. And if you can start to wear them down up front and they can't get guys in and out, then you can really make hay on the ground. So they want to go fast, but go slow, if that makes sense.
And there's Tran, and you try to misdirection right there. The play over to the side to the slot guy, and he's going to get 3 or 4. That is Justin Head one more time. Talking about Tran, his stats aren't going to blow anybody away. He's got about 350 yards, a little less, 4 touchdowns, less than 100 yards passing. But Coach Bonneville really talked about how he is the key to the offense to make sure he puts it in the hands properly of all these different running backs that he's got.
Yeah, they told me even before the season that they liked his footwork a little more than Tanner Macy's last year, that he was a little cleaner with the footwork. And the footwork makes the timing, and that makes everything in this offense.
And there's the pitch to Sean Mitchell. First time we called his name, and they will go ahead and get the first down across the 40 to about the 41. Now Sean's going to be their bell cow. More than 1,000 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns already, 2 touchdowns receiving, which considering you only completed 4 passes and you know exactly who their guy is that they're going to go to on that one, has had some huge games, including more than 200 yards against Georgetown.
Yeah, he is really a beast, and you know, it was a two-headed monster for them last year with him and Andrew Johnson. And Andrew Johnson started the season great, but then had some back troubles and has not played for several weeks now, so it's been all Mitchell.
So fullback dive right up the middle on that one. Mitchell one more time, I believe.
Actually, that was Tony Cooper, I believe.
That is Tony Cooper. That's their fullback because Mitchell was the fullback. Then when Johnson went down, he moved full-time to tailback. But everybody gets touches. You're going to have 5 different guys basically get touches on this one. And everyone will touch the ball because they're looking for ways to get through a big defensive line for Hilton Head Island.
Well, and you're trying to get that defense to guess wrong or get that misdirection. It's almost like an old triple option type look where you've got a lot of different guys crossing over, and there's Mitchell.
There's Mitchell one more time, but this time nothing doing. Big stop by the defense. Good play on that one by Will Jimenez, the senior.
He is a great player, and as of media day, preseason, his Duolingo streak was ridiculous. I hope he's still got it going.
I hope so too. So 10 tackles for loss coming into this one and 2 sacks. Probably not going to get many sacks on this one. Not on this day, but he's going to get a lot more tackles.
Not a lot of dropbacks for May River, but this is exactly what Hilton Head needs to do. Put them in these 3rd and longish situations.
There's 3rd and 6. There's a hit off to Mitchell, and the ball is, and it's picked up on the play. Going the other way, Thaddeus Zarnecki just right out of the hands of Mitchell. And boy, B.J. Payne and the Seahawks couldn't ask for more than that. Bobble on the snap, right into Mitchell's hands, and he pushed it right back to Thaddeus Zarnecki, the running back, linebacker, Mr. Everything. That's a touchdown for the Seahawks.
I mean, popped right in his bread basket, and Thad the Impaler put a dagger in the Sharks early. Mitchell just never got the handle, and quick hands tip drill by Thad.
You put that ball in that man's hands, he knows what to do with it, and he did exactly what he needed to there. That's the 4th defensive touchdown this year for Hilton Head already. They are very opportunistic on the defensive side.
That's a huge play.
The kick is up. It is good, barely, but it made it through. That's all that counts on that one. Bo Sexton comes through for that for Hilton Head, so you couldn't draw it up better. Now, if you're Hilton Head Island, you didn't even force him to punt, but get it score on the other time. And now May River, who likes to run top, likes to play from in front, is suddenly 7 points down.
Yeah, and we talked about it at the outset. That's not where May River wants to be. They're a team that's built to get the lead and keep the lead. Playing from behind is not really what they want, but one score is nothing. You know, we've seen lots of crazy things on the field. They were moving the ball well, so the ground game is working. Now they get the offense back out there, and we'll see if they can even the score here. But that is a huge play for Hilton.
It's one of those things with Mitchell. He's the guy you're going to need to have a huge game if you're going to beat the Seahawks on this one.
Oh, yeah, they're going to have to go back to him. There's no question.
Over and over again. Be very interesting. Coach Bonneville knew what he needed out here. He talked about it. He said, we got about 30 guys who will play. Period. That's all we're going to get out here. So whatever system we have to stay in games, and that's exactly why they brought the system in from Texas, because it keeps them in every game.
And Hilton Head doesn't have a whole lot more than that either. Both these teams do a lot with what they have as far as the quantity of student athletes. They get a lot out of them.
Coach B.J. Payne wanted me to tell that, too. He's like, well, we really only are playing about 37, so we're not bigger than anybody, really.
Right. They've always struggled with depth. It's as good as it's ever been for the Seahawks.
Another kick to the corner on this one, down to about the 25-yard line. Picked up. He will get a couple extra yards, and he broke free. He broke 2 tackles, and he's still going. The special teams suddenly playing back for this one. That's going to go all the way for May River. Mason Swigert for the touchdown.
How about that? Mason Swigert, we had to look him up on the roster. He's not one of the big names on the team necessarily, but he comes up with a huge play, and all that momentum, all that goodwill just washed away for Hilton Head, and now they're licking their wounds.
Sometimes we laugh at the keys to the game out there, but Coach Payne put it in there. They had to play well on special teams. Swigert broke not 1, but 2 tackles, and then used every speed with a cadre of blockers behind him to make sure he could take it to the zone, and suddenly we've got a little something going on over here.
That is a huge play.
Just when Hilton had felt confident, May River took it all back from him. Swigert on the year. Oh, and the snap is going to go through the handler all the way back. They're going to try to run for it. No, they're going to throw, and nothing doing. So Hilton Head still with that 1-point lead after a bobbled snap on the extra point. Swigert, by the way, 37 yards total so far this year before that kickoff return.
He did, however, have 2 kickoff returns totaling 99 yards, averaging 49.5. So this has happened before.
He's not the first time that he's got it there. So 37 yards, not involved in the offense, but definitively involved in the special teams.
Well, I think he's a junior. I think there's going to be a spot in the offense for him next year. And man, I might like to see him out at wide receiver, maybe throw him a little bubble screen and see what he can do with it.
What is this word throw you're using for May River? I don't think they understand that.
Well, they do it from time to time. They just wait until you've given up all hope of it, and then it's a guaranteed touchdown.
Time to time. 8 passes all year.
Yeah,
so, you know.
Well, they've only played 6 games, right?
Seven games. So that's average of one a game.
They throw it once a game whether they need to or not, right?
Back deep now for Hilton Head. Thaddeus Zarnecki is one of your deep men. On the other side is Jeremiah Walters, their wide receiver. He's a really underrated player. I love what Walters can do on the offensive side definitively.
He has become one of the elite receivers in the Loco, and that includes some guys like Carnell Warren and Amari Patterson. He is right there in that conversation.
Hudson Tanner with that kickoff. Sorry, Eric Robertello. That will go in the end zone over Zarnecki's head. So Hilton Head will start from the 20. Now, they're going to lead. Derek Brzezinski is the guy for them. More than 1,000 yards passing, went over that number last week, 11 touchdowns, 4 INTs, also has put 4 more on the ground. His legs have become more of a weapon in the last couple games, starting with that Bluffton game when he really made a difference against the Bobcats.
Yeah, he is really developing into a nice quarterback. His poise is really notable. He makes great decisions. He can throw that deep ball. Walters will go get it, but the ground game is still the heart and soul for them, and Zarnecki and Risher are both tremendous. Zarnecki starting off out there right now.
And he's the guy, missed 2 games, but still probably their #1 back, while they're both excellent with Risher. They're going to fake it quick and throw it out to Walters. Walters will get maybe 1-2 yards at the most. 1 good play by that May River defense. The secondary, not underrated, but they're really challenged a lot in these games because people will throw on us.
Yeah, we talked with Hudson Tanner last night on the Loco Sports Lowdown, and he was talking about that he was the only returner in that secondary. They felt good about their front 7, but the secondary was kind of raw, and we'll see if the Seahawks try to attack it.
There's Branchevsky. He's going to run it himself this time, and he's got a good block to the outside. Makes 2 cuts and gets down to the 35-yard line. That's a gain of 15.
So that was Walters lined up at quarterback that time, and they moved Branchevsky out to the slot and brought him in
You're
motion.
right. He faked
the pitch to him.
Faked the pitch. Very nice play call. BJ going to that bag of tricks out there while they're doing whatever they can. And that worked for 15.
Well, and Walters has played some quarterback the last couple of years when Ranajewski's been beaten up, so he can do that.
He does.
He can put it in the air, too.
5 for 8 for 35 yards passing when he's been beaten up, so we'll see what happens. Plus, it gives them something else to think about if you're May River. But it'll be first down. Here's Zarnecki for the first time. Nothing doing. Wrapped up in a couple big, giant shots right there. The second man in was Charlie Crace.
Having a really good year up front for May River.
42 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss for this defense.
If I'm not mistaken, he made the big play that sealed the win against Brooklyn Casey. Came up with a strip sack.
Interesting, Hilton here. Hilton had to go in with a hurry-up offense, but really just no huddle offense, but still looking to the sidelines, not trying to rush anything. Empty backfield, 5 wides. That's going to be a false start on one of the wide receivers on the outside for Hilton Head Island.
Somebody got off a little early.
Such a difference when May River doesn't have 5 wide receivers on their entire roster. JV or varsity.
Can you really even call them a? Yeah, I mean, they used to use wide receivers in their scheme
Dead
back
ball,
in the Ahman
false
Green
start.
days. They still didn't
Offense
do much
number
receiving,
33.
but they were wide receivers.
5-yard penalty, second down.
Because even looking at the roster, they didn't have wide receiver as one of their positions. They
No,
called them 9 different things. There was not a wide receiver out there.
Yeah, if you look how they line up on the line of scrimmage, there's nothing wide about it. It's all packed in as tight as you can get it.
The May River Cams fans happy about this one early, only down 1 after a big kick return for a touchdown. Hilton Head with their own fireworks after a long fumble return. Now it's up to the offenses. 7:04 left here in the first quarter. There's Javen Risher, and that's nothing doing. The interior, that May River defense holding up strong right now, and that's going to be right back where it started. 2nd and 16, now 3rd and 16.
Yeah, May River seems committed to take away the run and force them to throw it. And they're going to probably have to put it in the air here with 3rd and long. That penalty really hurt the rhythm of this drive.
I would think they'd probably go outside because they do have a lot of speed that May River doesn't have quite as much of. We'll see how that works later with some sweeps and things on that one too. Meantime though, 3rd and 16. Looking for a quick screen on the outside. They'll get up the middle. Not going all the way, though. They'll get back to the original line of scrimmage and a couple more. So it'll be 4th and 7 for Hilton Head Island.
And that puts it in interesting territory where they're on the field, but it looks like the punt team's
They
coming
will
out.
go ahead and punt for now.
BJ is generally a pretty conservative guy as far as that goes. He wants to play the field position game, takes a lot of pride in special teams, and they're usually very good in that department. And they'll try to flip the field here and see they can stop May River.
Well, once you get, and don't give them a short field, because May River can go for it and go ahead and get those yardage pretty easily and milk more of that clock that you're talking about.
That's right. You don't want to take chances.
Here's Bo Sexton averaging about 32 yards a punt. This one's going to be pretty good. Going to pick up and fall in there at the 36-yard line. So, defensive touchdown, kickoff return touchdown. Nothing much from the offense, but we'll see what May River can do when we come back right here on the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week. The WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week brought to you by OC Welch Ford Lincoln. Looking for a new truck? Go see OC today. And right now we're driving home the point that both of these teams are very good on the defensive side and very dangerous on special teams and when you make a mistake. We got the defensive touchdown from the Seahawks. We've got the kickoff return touchdown on the other side from the Sharks, and that's why we're at 7-6 with 5:38 left here in the first quarter. Andrew Davis with Justin Jarrett from Loco Sports. So not the offense we thought we'd see, but two huge plays already.
Two bingos in a row. I mean, just bang, bang. And don't see that all the time. It's been an exciting start. Got a flag down.
Flag down in the middle after a gain of about 3 or 4. Really interesting with this offense to truly keep your eyes on who does have the ball. It's very difficult to follow. That's why this offense is so dangerous.
It's hard enough from the top,
Holding,
the top view, but
offense number 52,
on field level.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
Is in a box that is literally, 5 yards wide. So, and they tight and they move
and they make better doors than windows.
They do, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of deception going on back there. Guys are going every which direction, and the quarterback turns all the way around so he could hand it in to any one of them. It's really an interesting variation on the classic triple option.
Triple option out there, or a flex bone or anything else that you're talking about.
It's got some wishbone to it.
They keep saying, people said, oh, it's a wing tee. And immediately they said, no, it's not a wing tee. It's something completely different. Well, we'll see what it is. Texas Lefty, here's Tran himself. He's going to run to a bunch of tacklers, including Zarnecki among them, along with a couple other ones, including Justice Morris. Also, Jason Arrieta in the middle of that, too. Again, about 300 yards rushing for Tran. He's not your number one option, but he's got to keep the ball some to keep that defense honest. And we're at 2nd and 19 after a gain of about 1. May River, as we've said a couple times already, 8 passes all year long. It's an option from the level of when you're not expecting it, that's the only time they'll throw.
Yeah, that's about the only time.
Again, walking up to the line of scrimmage. There's the handoff to Head, the sophomore. He's going to break it back and break a tackle, but not going to get much more. Again, pulled down by Jason Arrieta.
Yeah, he's really stepped up and done a great job in Andrew Johnson's absence, but he's not quite as explosive or evasive as Johnson, but he's grown into a really good running back for the Sharks.
Really interesting to see how important those slot backs are in this to try to keep people honest. We see that with Jenkins over on the Savannah side. They've got 2 guys who just can fly, so if they could break free, it's a long touchdown for them. So we'll see what goes on here. Hall comes in from Coach Bonneville on the sidelines through the big fullback. And there's Tran again. Ooh. Nothing doing. Big stick by Zarnecki. I love Zarnecki so much because he's such a good runner, but sticks his head in on defense every time.
I wish that man would go out for wrestling. The way he tackles people. He nails people. He just plays the game so hard all the time. He gives you everything he's got. Tremendous interview, too. I don't know if you've gotten to talk to him, but gosh, he's
good
great,
kid.
says all the right things. Some coach is going to get really lucky to have him.
He's
in their
another one
program
like
at the next
Tyson
level.
Timko last year for Hilton Head.
100%.
Boy, just loved him and what he does. And good news for Zarnecki, he's got one more year on the punt here. Hudson Tanner, he's going to drop that, and that's going to get a big shark bounce all the way down to the 10, to the 9, to the 8-yard line. Just what Shark fans would want. 38-yard average for Tanner. He beat that one big time.
And we got a little extracurricular activity over here.
Flag down at the 6. I think the May River guys were blocking out the kickoff returner, which you can't do even when that ball falls. So.
Yeah, Zarnecki was hovering around it, which probably someone over there was yelling, Peter, Peter, but he had designs on maybe snatching it up, and they didn't want him anywhere near it, so somebody shielded him off, and then they kind of
probably
went
a fair
back and
catch
forth for a little
interference
bit.
or catcher interference is what they'll call it, I think, at that point. I know it's baseball tonight. I guess they're baseball games. It's not catcher interference. It's a fair catch interference, but.
They're running out of baseball games. Yeah, it looked like it was just a little
Hank Tatum on the
physicality
sideline
after.
says he may have been
They're
pulling
gonna
him
call
back.
holding,
They were
yeah.
pulling him back from the ball, too, at that point. So.
Well, yeah, Cooper tried to sling him down.
over.
Didn't have much luck.
Dead ball. We have 2 dead ball personal fouls against the kicking team. Both penalties, correction, against the kicking team. Both penalties are accepted. There will be 30 yards worth of mark-offs, first down.
Well, you don't
Oh,
see that.
wow.
Interesting. So I think what probably happened would be, my guess is they tried to block him out, got the 15, and then somebody said the wrong thing to the ref or did something else, and then got 15 more. You don't see 30 yards in penalties that much, so that kick, which had him down to the 9, suddenly Hilton Head's right back to their own 39 instead.
Dwayne Ennis, the back judge, stepping in. I remember him. He's called some of my softball games over at Hardyville High School. Great guy.
And our referee tonight, we're going to try with it here, Justin. Kyle Buchkowski.
Yeah.
So we've got it out there. Hank, tell us what exactly you saw on that penalty.
Yeah, guys, what Hilton Head, or excuse me, May River was trying to do is they were trying to grab the returner and pull him into the ball to create that contact, which would then be a fumble. So that in itself was the penalty, is them pulling the returner, but then also, like you said, the extra personal foul.
And right away, Zarnecki, who was the guy that they pulled out of there, was trying to bounce it outside. Unfortunately, he got pulled down right away, and actually no gain, probably had 2. Bounced it for a bigger move and wasn't able to do anything with it.
Great
Good
play by
pursuit.
Xavier Polite. Backside pursuit there.
He's got some talent out here and a
Yes,
lot of
he
numbers.
does.
62 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 5 sacks on top of that, too.
Yeah,
He's
he
an
is.
impressive young man. And here's Risher. Risher, the transfer from Hampton County. He's able to get around the corner for about 8, but there is a hold on that one. You can see the flag fly.
Yeah, when it flies at that spot in the field right as the run gets popped, that's usually a correlating factor.
Talk to me, too, about Risher.
10-yard penalty in the spot of the foul, second down.
Risher coming over from Hampton County has given this team a completely different look because it doesn't have to be Zarnecki full-time now.
Yeah, Risher is tremendous, and we've known about him for a number of years over at Hampton County. We knew who he was when he arrived on the scene because of his brother, Catman Risher, who's now South Carolina Gamecock. And, you know, family saw Catman go through the process and not get an opportunity. He had to walk on at Carolina and earn his way on the roster, and they were looking for a place where they thought maybe he could get the exposure, and certainly B.J. Payne sent a lot of guys to the next level.
There's Renshevsky. He's got it out to Walters, to the 35, to the 40, to the 44, almost the 45-yard line. Big play. Suddenly, 3rd and manageable for the Seahawks.
They see something they like in this matchup with these quick outs to Walters, getting the ball in his hands early and letting him make plays up the field. And they tried a couple bubble screens, didn't really develop, but this time the quick out, he's able to get into space and make something happen.
Hudson Tanner and Mason Campbell on the play there. 3rd and 1 now from that 2nd and 19. Good job by the Seahawks to get himself back in this position. Now they go with a tight formation, but with a couple wide receivers on the side. There's a handoff to Zarnecki, who's going to get up the middle. He won't get much, but he'll get enough for the first down. 1, maybe 2 yards. Talking to Coach Payne a couple weeks ago, he said that when Risher got in his room, he put 11 pounds of muscle on him just a couple weeks ago. He loves him from both sides of the ball. Still thinks probably defense will be his long-term position.
And he has played exceptionally well there this year.
There's Zarnecki, who gets it to the outside. He's going to cut it inside. Good little jump cut there to get out, and gets about 6, maybe 7 yards.
Hudson Tanner stuck him. That was a nice takedown. We had Tanner on last night on the lowdown. I told him he ought to try wrestling this year. And after that takedown, Coach Powell's going to double down on his efforts.
You don't hear much kickers who are making tackles like that, but that's exactly who he is and making a difference. Played about 5 games in that safety spot so far and already 22 tackles in that time.
Yeah, he's just fallen in love with football, you know, and wants to make a contribution in whatever way he can, especially in his senior year.
And he is definitively out there. Not that many seniors on this May River team. 35 seconds and the clock moving. There's another flag. Clearly almost to the end of the first quarter. That's going to be on Hilton Head, pushing him back a little bit.
77.
Second
5-yard
time
penalty.
now.
Second down.
Second time they've put themselves in a tough down and distance situation with a false start.
This one at least 2nd and 9, not 2nd and 19.
Right.
So big difference on that. But 33 seconds left here in the first quarter. An eventful one with a couple big plays and some offensive fireworks. Now bringing them back the other way. Where's this one going?
Well, you know, I was hearing them talk about this. Is that shifting?
Prior to the snap. Snap infraction on the center, number 60. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So penalties playing a big play in this one so far. They were able to get past one of them. Now 2
May
more.
River's getting them with that shift. They're making that distinct shift on the line of scrimmage.
The second one, though, was
And
a
getting
center
them to
infraction.
go.
I think he moved the ball a little bit, certainly, but maybe that's also watching that shift.
I think it's getting them to flinch.
And they definitely are shifting every time, looking like they're trying to play more towards the middle. There's the fake to Risher. Franchevsky's going to throw it deep. He's got a man deep, and he's wide open. Great catch. And all the way inside the 5 to the 2-yard line. Excellent job by Caden Stewart.
Stewart has made some big plays for them in the passing game, and looks like we have a flag down way back here,
Offense
though.
number 77.
Coming back.
Pulled
10-yard
down,
penalty
nothing
from the
doing.
previous spot.
Man, you could see
Second
him get down out there to get Franchevsky a little bit of ability out there to throw it. Stewart's big catch is going to be pulled back. Stewart on the year, 9 catches but 156 yards. Like you said, he's their big play guy and made one there. But the 3rd penalty, 4th on this drive, will nullify the whole thing.
Yeah, that one was a tough one, too. Just riding his block.
And now they're way back on this one.
Let me see this one. Yeah, he got him.
He got him pretty good.
He
yeah.
sure did. I missed the first part on the first replay. I saw the second part only, and I thought, oh boy, I don't know. But yeah,
if
he
he
had a
hadn't
good
grabbed
hold
the
of him.
jersey, I think it's a great block and no one notices. But unfortunately, the jersey was moving. Well, and the clock's not moving anymore because we're at the end of the first quarter. So Hilton Head with a big defensive play. May River comes back with a kickoff return, and now the Seahawks knocking themselves, in the teeth with this one. We'll see how they come back on a very long one here, but good game so far through one. Hilton Head, May River. Hilton Head with the Seahawks with a 1-point lead. The WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week brought to you by Chicken Salad Chick. Deliciously fresh in Bluffton, Savannah, Pooler, and Statesboro. Made from scratch, served from the heart. So far a lot of heart and soul, but a lot of penalties too so far for Hilton Head. Here's Javen Risher, their big running back. He's going to get 5, 6 maybe back on that one for Risher, but they were second and forever going into that.
Yeah, now they got third and almost forever.
Justin Jarrett here with us from Loco Sports. So, you know, penalties, 4 penalties on this drive alone after getting 2 back from May River, which gave them better field position. Neither team seems to really want to win it right now.
Yeah, and the first possession, Hilton Head was derailed by a penalty as well. They got around close to midfield and then got knocked back 5 yards and then got hit behind the sticks and got in a long situation and had to punt it away. So they have not gotten into a rhythm on offense. Got to give May River's defense some credit.
So 3rd and about 20. Renchevsky, he's got a wide open man right there. That's Walters. Sorry,
Stewart.
That's Caden Stewart again. Stewart, who had a big play called back by a penalty, will get him back to 3rd and about 6, 4th and 6. And so far, we'll see what Hilton Head decides to do from here. Last time they punted in this position. This time they look like they're going for it. Coach B.J. Payne, at least acting like this.
Yeah,
5 may get you a first down right on the edge.
Yeah, Raniszewski can
He
do
can
a little
kick, and
pooch kick.
that's what it looks like.
I think
Put it
that's
back
what
there
we're
a little
gonna
bit.
get. Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
going to
well
pin him
done.
deep. Excellent job there. And he'll be right down inside the 7-yard line.
Going to start about where
They would
Seahawks started.
Where the Seahawks
down
would
here.
have started on this one. So Friday Night Blitz tonight on WSAV. We've got some great games for you. Some really interesting ones this week too. Long County and Jenkins. Jenkins looking to lock up that region for the first time in a long time. Beach and Groves, Johnson, Calvary Day. Calvary looking for playoff positioning is what they're hoping for on this one. Greenbrier and Effingham County. Effingham County in play for one of our games late in the season because they could make a big difference on this one. Bradwell and South Effingham. Islands and Windsor Forest playing for pride, playing for a lot of things so far. But really, we're looking at a couple of those games. May River, though, right back. The handoff up the middle. Our camera people, everybody's going to get faked out with this because it is so interesting to watch it live and realize it's tight because the All-22 doesn't tell you everything you look at.
No, and even the huddle camera gets tricked sometimes by this thing. They lose some of the plays on their film because they thought somebody else had the ball. But no, this is a situation here where May River, if they can keep moving the chains on this drive, they could grind a lot of time off this clock and put themselves in position to go into the halftime with the lead.
Well, that's Sean McNulty over there is the guy, the fullback, keeps running. He's putting more yards in, just running back and forth to coach. That's going to be a handoff of the middle. Nothing doing there. Hilton Head's got the ball. We'll see what the refs say. Is it a fumble?
Down.
They're going to claim it's down. That was Tony Cooper, the junior. Hilton Head says they have it, and the refs say they do too. Not able to advance it, but for the second time, May River fumbles, and Hilton Head setting up in plus territory.
That ball was clearly out.
Picked up by Will Jimenez, who wanted to run with it too, but his knee was down. So suddenly Hilton Head, who couldn't do much on offense after the penalties, comes back strong on second fumble of the day, and they're inside the red zone.
Wow. May River's offense has not only not been effective moving the ball, but now 2 fumbles, putting the ball on the ground, and Hilton Head a chance to really put the dagger in right here, make it hurt.
Brandon Zuski, your quarterback. He's got Zarnecki with him. He's going to give it to Zarnecki. Not much doing. The stout interior of the May River defense, they're not going to let them get yards from that center guard area.
No, that front 7 has been terrific tonight. You can tell that they emphasize trying to stop the run and make Raniszewski beat them. And, you know, he's made a couple of plays with his arm, but they've done a great job of limiting this Seahawk offense if they can just stop giving them short fields.
Big guy up front, Charlie Crace, Henry Santiz, and Xavier Polite, the 3 guys along with the linebackers over there, Campbell Harris and Poole, who are some of their big tacklers. Poole, the leading tackler on that one.
Yeah, they really missed Jackson Miller this year. He was lost for the season a couple of weeks ago, and they're missing him right now.
Snap just over his head. Good pickup. Raniszewski, but he'll get about 2-3, so at least to get positive yards. There's the difference, though. Still, it's a quarterback in flux, I think. Picked it up, and maybe it was a running play, but didn't even look downfield to see if he had somebody. Instead, immediately went to the run. but he was able to get 2-3 yards, and that's positive stuff for the Seahawks.
Yeah, able to move a little closer here. They are very well within field goal range for Bo Sexton.
Right now, May River looking for a big moral victory if they can hold them to a field goal attempt here. May River looked like they were offsides. They did not call it, though.
Well, he came across, but he didn't touch anyone, and he got back, so he should be good.
Only problem with that shotgun offense, you can't always just throw it out there when you see somebody. Bernazuski, he's going to run it himself. He's got some room. Wide open in the end zone. Big stick at the line, but he's in for 6. Second touchdown of the day for Hilton Head, first one on offense.
You mentioned it early on that he's become a weapon with his legs, and especially down here in the red zone. He's a tough runner. He's not going to shy away from contact, puts his head down. Almost broke his face open against James Island earlier this year on a touchdown run. He's not afraid of it, and he'll put his nose in there and get you into the end zone.
Big kid proved it there, his 5th touchdown rushing on the year. Here's Bo Sexton, the senior. Perfect on the year coming into tonight. Thankfully, I did not curse him by doing that, so he gets it through. 14-6 Hilton Head now with the lead over May River. So May River shooting themselves in the foot with turnovers. Hilton Head with those penalties that stopped them in the last offensive drive. But this is just a very nice play, and also got down to it, took the hit and didn't feel it. Michael Poole, their leading tackler, as we talked about for May River, he's got 82 combined tackles on this year.
Yeah, he's been really good for them all year and again tonight. But the 2 fumbles, I mean, obviously it's always going to, the turnover battle is always going to play a big role, but especially when you're a team like May River and you value possession so much. You just can't be giving it away like that, and they're going to have to keep their hands on the ball the rest of the way if they're going to stay in this game.
Talking about the region schedule for Hilton Head Island, why this game is so big. May River tied with them at the top, but they've already beaten Bishop England, they've already beaten Bluffton. All that's left are Colleton County and Beaufort. Not to discount them, but they are the bottom of this region, so Hilton Head pretty well puts themselves in the driver's seat for a lot there. Randaszewski, by the way, Randaszewski, 4 for 4, 43 yards and then 8 yards on the ground so far. That matches him with Zarnecki for total rushing yards to lead the team.
Giving you some updates from around the region. Bishop England leading Beaufort 10-7 in the first quarter, actually into the second quarter now. And Bobcats, Bluffton leading Colleton County 14-6 in the second quarter.
So about the 32-yard line, another short kick and a fair catch. Interesting to see Colleton County putting early puts on the board. You don't know with Bluffton, though. They're so explosive. They can do it quickly anytime they have. Those 2 wide receivers are great. Hilton Head did an incredible job to hold them down. Andrew Massey was the key in that game because he was able to hold Carnell Warren completely, shut down for most of that game, and allowed Hilton Head to win it.
And then also it was a big game from Josh Bigger up front, getting pressure on the quarterback and forcing some errant throws.
We're not going to worry about errant throws today. That's the first big chunk of yards there. Mitchell right up the middle, and he'll get down for 9+ yards, not quite to the first down, but first time they've actually been able to get anything on the ground up the middle against this Hilton Head defense.
Now this would be a really good spot for a play action pass in a 2nd and 1 situation. If you don't connect, you've got 3rd and 1, easily convertible. If they were looking to open up the playbook more tonight, if they've been holding that back for this big moment, then this might be a spot where we see it.
Coach Bonneville told me they may have to throw more than 2 times in this game if they think they're going to win this, but we'll see if he was just blowing smoke or not.
It's on the ground.
Tran's going to be on the ground again, and again Hilton Head's going to get the 3rd fumble of the night, and one more time Will Jimenez picks it up for the 2nd time tonight. Whatever it is, the Sharks cannot hold on to this ball.
Looked like Tran was trying to get out of there in a hurry, get to the outside, and just didn't get the exchange cleanly before he started pulling out of there. And there you go.
When you're a team that runs as much as they have, too, you have to have clean exchanges, and you can't lose this ball because Hilton Head's quick to jump on it and say, okay, we can score quickly against you just as easily as you want to work this clock.
Yeah, that offense really requires a lot of precision in the timing, and they are clearly just a little bit out of sync tonight for whatever reason.
Interesting to see what Hilton Head does here. Again, in the shotgun, Risher is your running back. Bernazuski, he's got it up top, and it's a catch. Excellent play Good job on that one on the catch and play for Kyan Zimmerman. I'm sorry, we'll give that to Ty Wiedemann. His jersey was a little bit up.
Yeah.
Wiedemann really they talked a lot about Wiedemann and how important he was when he was out for a couple games. Didn't help this team, but now it gives him a second option on that passing game.
Yeah, he ran a little underneath route and against the zone. Raniszewski saw the open field that he was running to and just laid it right out there for him at the sideline. Nice little toe tap.
Hey, it's a shot.
It's a false start. Offense number 77. A 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's, by my count, the 4th false start of the game.
I'm tracking with you there, and I really think May River, that dramatic shift they're doing is throwing them off.
It seems to be. Well, we'll see what happens. Wright's throwing them right now. May River throwing themselves off. 3 fumbles have put Hilton Head in the lead. 14-6 midway through the second quarter. You're watching the WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week. The WSAV for CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week brought to you by OC Ford Welch Lincoln. Check out our exciting lineup featuring Aviator, Corsair, Nautilus, and Navigator. Looking for a Lincoln? Go see OC today. Fumbling troubles for May River. Hank, what's the coaching staff saying?
Yeah, guys, you can tell the urgency is starting to pick up for the staff. After the very first fumble, it was calm. It's next play mentality. But after that fumble there, you had offensive coaching staff coming down from the booth to talk to this team, and they said that it's embarrassing. You're giving this game away. They feel like their defense is doing enough, but they've got to hold on to the ball. That last fumble was an issue of the snap count. The center snapped it on 1 when it should have been on 2. So the urgency is starting to build for this May River team. It feels like they're staying in this ball game, but they've got to protect it.
Very good call on that one. Interesting on the snap count, how it can throw everybody off. Zarnecki was able to get 4, almost 5 to get back to the original line of scrimmage. We'll be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, that explains that one, doesn't it?
There's the fake, looking pass again. And a quick dump off inside. I believe that is Walters. No. So Walter, no, that is not
15.
15. That is actually Andrew Turner, the tight end, who does not get his number called much. 4 receptions walking into this game for a total of 37 yards. This one, though, will get him 4 and closer to that first down.
Yeah, he looked almost surprised that Raniszewski threw it to him. Well, me?
I would be if I only had 4 catches all year.
Yeah, exactly. I thought I was a blocking tight end.
Interesting to see what they do. They went with a lot of double with Zarnecki and Risher at the same time against Bluffton. We've not seen that at all in this game, so interesting to see what they'll do in the future. They're going to go 3 wides with the one running back is Risher. They're going to fake it to Risher. Raniszewski's there. He's going to go up top. He's got his man hit off his hands on that one. Caden Stewart couldn't pull that in. So a minor victory right now for May River, you would think. Yes, they are going to bring Bo Sexton out to kick this field goal to hold them to inside after that 3rd fumble.
Stewart just slightly misjudged that ball. It's overthrown just a touch, but I think if he ran through it, he might have had a chance. He thought he had to jump for it, and I don't think that was the right move there, but almost hauled it in. Nice touch on the pass by Raniszewski, just a tick too far.
Interesting to see, too, you know, how you're throwing it there. It's a little cool tonight. It's the first night, basically, that you've had any sort of dampness along with the cold, and it changes your game a little bit. Here's Sexton, who's going to get it up, and the kick is good. Bo Sexton with the kick, and now 17-7. He's 5 of 5 now on the year. Perfect both for PATs and field goals. So 17-6 Hilton Head with the 11-point lead on May River.
Such a weapon to have, a kicker in high school who can reliably knock one through the uprights for you in a situation like that, so you don't come up empty-handed. It would have really been a huge win for May River if they were able to hold them scoreless there. Still a moral victory, still in the game.
I'll tell you, though, we're seeing more and more kickers who, first of all, have the leg to push it into the end zone so you don't get those kickoff returns, which is huge, but more guys who can kick the ball through the uprights, too. They're finding those soccer players and getting them on the field and playing, and we've seen better and better kickers across the board instead of these teams going, well, we better go for two because there's no chance we can get through the uprights otherwise.
Yeah, it's a great way to get a scholarship, too, if you can get good enough at it.
Very true. So May River now down 11 to Hilton Head. Coach Richard Bonneville, in his third year as the head coach, has been with the program since its inception, along with multiples of these coaches here, all of them staying on, very proud of their role with this team. There's the kickoff to about the 27-yard line, picked up on the outside, big stick.
And a flag back here at midfield.
That could be an offsides, usually
most of that
midfield.
Staff was together before they came here, too. All those guys were together up at Westwood? Westwood. Yeah, up at Westwood, and then came down when May River opened and built this program. And they did a tremendous job of getting this thing up and running quickly. Really had that one down year, and then after that, they were really competitive from then on.
Return team number 17, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So sees what I know. I thought it was offsides. Instead, it's a holding on May River, which will push them back 10. May River really has, with a team that you said, well, they'll struggle for 5 years until they can really get some kids in here. Started off and were in the region hunt from the beginning almost with Coach Summers, and then he left. This staff picked up and said, we got to go with a different system to stay in games because we believe in what we can do.
Yeah, Coach Summers is fishing boat captain now, enjoying his retirement, but I'm sure he's around here somewhere.
There's the handoff to Sean Mitchell. Mitchell's going to get 3, maybe 4. As we said, Mitchell with a little over 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns on the year. He's got 5 games with 100+, averaging almost 6 yards a carry.
Yeah, the Seahawks have done a great job of bottling him up so far, and then, of course, he had the fumble, but he has had a tremendous season. He's been the workhorse, and he's the reason they're 6-1.
Be interesting to see. Benji Elliott, one of their big defensive tackles, is out for the game. Hayden Crockett, who plays offense, is going to play some defense to help pick it up. There's Tran, who was able to hold on to it.
I think that was Head actually coming back on
I'm
the
getting lost somewhere in there on the misdirection, but Head, you're right, is going to be the guy, and he's going to take it across that first down line and all the way to the 37-yard line. So the sophomore got 224 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns as well. He's averaging about 7 yards a carry, got exactly that on this one. Had a decent day against Bishop of England with 51 yards and then 80 yards and a touchdown against College.
Yeah, he's really stepped up for them.
There's another ball on the ground, it looked like, but somebody picked it up and went forward with that. Mitchell, I believe. And Mitchell will get maybe 2, maybe 3. Tran's looking at the ground like he's afraid that he's dropped it again. I guess that's part of the hold of the fake, though, too, interestingly. I think you're looking for the fumble because it's happened, but if you see he holds that fake and tucks it in to make sure he sells it.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think that's what he's doing. He's trying to lean over his hands and hide whether he has the ball or not.
Quick, here's the counter, and the counter to Head again, and Head's going to get big yardage. He's going to get 11 yards all the way to the 48-yard line. So suddenly May River on the move. 5:12 left here in the second quarter.
Well, that's what they do. You start to key on Mitchell, and you know, you're staying on that assignment good. We're going to run that counter and see if we can't pop a couple there. And then when you start to overcorrect to that, they may go right back to Mitchell the other way.
There's the handoff to Mitchell again. They will go to Mitchell this time, and he'll get 3, maybe 4 yards. Risher among the tacklers in the middle.
Such a hard offense to prepare for because, you know, you can't in the course of a week put in a scout team and teach them how to run this offense with any kind of effectiveness or efficiency. So you just can't really prepare live for it. You have to prepare, you know, with film and seeing where the breakdowns are for other defenses and try to make sure you stay on assignment. But it's really tough to prepare without a scout.
That's why Coach Payne happy that he had 2 weeks because they had a bye last week. Got a little extra time. Here's the handoff again to Mitchell. Nothing doing there. Huge play. Again, they felt like the ball, Will Jimenez, who we called name multiple times, but to have that extra week, it's like the teams who always on the college side schedule a bye before you play a Navy or a Citadel or someone to understand that option offense, and that's exactly what Hilton had hit here the extra week before the May River game.
Yeah, the schedule from top to bottom has worked out really well for Hilton Head this year, and if they can pull this off, you know, you like the way it sets up for them to go into the playoffs strong.
They went not to Mitchell on that one again. Nope, inside the head. That is Mitchell. Nope, Mitchell will gain about 3.
I never saw the ball on that play.
It goes quick, that's for sure. So I think we're going to give that to Head on that one, not Mitchell. They seem to be the guys. So 4th and 2. Coach Bonneville does not like to punt if he can help it, that's for sure. He's only got 6 punts on the entire year, and it's 4th and 3, and he's going to go for it. 3:25 here in the second quarter.
On that side of the 50 in this situation.
There's a handoff to Mitchell, and they trusted him, and there was good reason that they trusted him. He's across that first down line for 3.5, maybe 4. BJ Payne's looking at it from Hilton Head side. They're saying maybe not.
No, I think
depends on the spot.
I think he's got it where it's
The
spotted.
spot was not especially good if you're a May River fan. I'm looking at that, and I've got questions, but
it's still over the 42, and it looks like the chains are right at
the 42.
But we'll see when they stretch them out. It's going to be close.
It looked like he had a little more momentum than that, but with that big pile of bodies when you get this running game, it's difficult to see for sure. Samari Richardson looked like he was one of those guys in there, pulling him back.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty good spot to me.
It's going to be very close. It looks like where those chain links are.
And they got it.
They got it by about half a football.
Well, I'll tell you what, too, they're living right, because last week they had a couple of chain pulls against Bishop England that went their way and made the difference. They had one where they picked up a first down inside the 1 to set up 1st and goal, and then another on defense to get a 4th down stop.
Good job by our guy Trevor getting up close and personal on the chain gang, so we appreciate that, Trevor.
Love it.
That's the kind of coverage you get here on WSAV CW, up close and personal.
Those are some unsung heroes, those fellas on the chain gang. They go stand on the visiting sideline and take all the heat.
All right, here's the hand. No, this time Tran's going to keep it himself. He's going to get good yardage. The ball, though, again on the ground. May River's having some real trouble. They luckily called him down before it came out. Take another look. That wasn't, and again, that wasn't Tran. It was the cutback on that one. I think that was Justin Head again.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But the ball again hit the ground. Interesting to see what they can do at halftime with that.
Yeah, I don't know what
right
you do
up the
about
middle.
that.
Right up the middle for Mitchell. And Sean Mitchell's going to get a big chunk of yards. 2:27. This is what they wanted to do from the beginning of the game. Get the ball, run the clock. Get the ball, run the clock.
Now they'd like to run out all the clock and put the ball in the end zone and give Hilton Head no time.
Yeah, Hilton Head actually called a timeout here. I guess maybe trying to save it, thinking if they could stop them, they can get the ball back because their passing game has been on point so far.
Yeah, and you can always stop the clock on offense. You can get out of bounds, you can spike the ball, you can do different things. But on defense, there's no way. They don't want to let May River take this thing down inside a minute and give them no time to try to put points on the board at the end of the half. And they've got a kicker, so they think if they can get it to the 25 or 30, they've got a shot.
I mean, as I said in the opening, Bishop England only had 2 drives in the entire first half last week. They lost this game 14-7, in part because May River took it all the way down and scored every time they had the ball and would take 7-8 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, they've had a really efficient drive here, and they needed it. I mean, they hanging by a thread in this game. Despite the 3 fumbles, they're still in it. If they can score here before half, you know, get in there in a 1-score game at halftime, despite everything that's happened, you'd have to feel really good about their chances after the break.
Going to get the opportunity. You know they're going to have that capability of getting some runs. You're not going to stop them all game long. So that's exactly what they've done here. And Mitchell's too good to stop every down, even though Hilton Head knows that that's the guy they need to stop.
Well, they know that Hilton Head hasn't forced any of these fumbles. These have all just been mishandling errors. So this is something they can control in the second half.
There's Tran. He's going to pitch it this time to Mitchell. That was easy enough to see. You hadn't seen a pitch yet. That worked to their advantage, though. 5 yards, and the clock will move with 2:20 left. May River going to take their time getting the ball.
First down so important for May River. When they can get 4, 5, 6 yards on first down, they are really tough to beat. On the other hand, if you can hold them to 1 or 2, you can put them in a tough spot.
Inside the 20 at the 17-yard line, 2nd and 6. And there's Mitchell, nothing doing there. Good job by the interior of that Hilton Head defense. Second man in was Josh Bigger. We talked about him, had a huge game. against Bluffton, has had a big year so far. 25 tackles, 19 of them for loss on this one. 9 sacks and 12 hurries. Coach said he'd have even more sacks if they wouldn't run away from him most of the time, which is what they're doing. I don't blame him because he's a big man with some big hits.
I remember his breakout game against Beaufort over at the Nest. I think we called it together. He was tremendous in that game.
There's the cutback to the slot back on this one. Not much doing. 1, maybe 2 yards. That was Head again. Head getting a lot of carries on this. Haven't seen much from any of the other guys. It's really been Mitchell Head, almost in an alternating format.
Yeah, just I think 1 carry for Cooper, and Trans carried it a couple of times, but it's mostly been those 2 guys.
And taking it down to 1 minute left here, 4th and 4. Thought Hilton Head might call a timeout, but I guess that just gives them a little bit more time to work with here, May River. So instead, they're going to try to stop them on 4th and 4 on this big drive for the Sharks. And they will go ahead and call a timeout now with under that minute left, 47 seconds to be exact.
Had to be getting close to a delay game situation.
Well, May River wants to, wants to make sure you have the right call. It's 4th and 4. You're down 11. You need to put this ball in the end zone right now, because if not, then you're going to leave Hilton Head, who gets the ball to start the second half, with a 2-score lead and the possibility to go right back down the field.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably just a little bit outside a comfortable field goal range right here, so I think you have to go for it. Would you put the ball in the air here? More importantly, though, would
Coach Bonneville put the ball in the air?
Would Mr. Dyer and Mr. Bonneville risk such a proposition?
Hudson Tanner, their kicker, is 1 for 2 on the year. His long is 30, the one time he hit it. So he is right in that area, but you're about a 35-yarder here.
Yeah.
So this is not the easiest kick
if
you're
nervy.
Not confident. And if you miss, you're really setting Hilton Head right back up to try to drive back down the field. And Bo Sexton does have a little bit of bigger leg and has the ability to kick those.
That's a fact.
So we'll see what happens
here.
here.
The biggest priority here for the Sharks is make sure they don't leave too much time on the clock. They love to get points, obviously.
Hilton Head would hope it's about 43 seconds after they stop them here after a 4-second play. May River, though, 4th and 4. Big play for the Sharks. They need this drive. They need this score. Luke Tran, their quarterback, has it. And again, they go back and forth, looking to try to pull them off sides.
Trying to draw them off, yeah.
I think that was the goal both times. Second timeout by the Sharks in a row. Didn't think you're necessarily allowed to do that. I guess in high school you are.
I don't know.
Mitchell now, we said at the beginning, had 4 rushes for 8 yards. Now 14 rushes for 50 yards. So that's exactly what he wanted. Coach Bonneville looking for something, but got that second timeout. So interesting to see. This will be the 3rd time. Are they just trying to pull them off, or do they really think they're going to go for this on a 4th and 4? I mean, you're right at the edge. You get the 5 yards. Most likely it's a first down.
Now you got to do something because, I mean, you can't just go up there trying to draw them off because you don't have any more timeouts. So you have to have something cooking here.
You'd think you'd play it to Mitchell. You're right. This is a play where a play action certainly would work. I have a feeling there's a coach on the other sideline for the play action.
Watch the play action is definitely going to be spoken in that huddle right now because they know that they save it for a big spot. And this is as big as it gets. They need to convert this and try to stay in this game, give themselves some momentum going into the half so that they can try to turn the page from some self-inflicted mistakes and have a chance to get back in this thing and maybe win a region title.
You see B.J. Payne, the coach for Hilton Head Island, talking to the refs. He was talking about holding these. He even talked to us about that before the game. He's going to make sure that he's going to protect that. Interesting, May River, after 2 times trying to draw him off, they are going to kick this field goal. It's going to be Hudson Tanner, your kicker. Perfect on the year on PATs, 1 of 2 from field goals. This one is right about 35 yards. $40 yards, and the kick is up, and it is good. Hudson Tanner with his long of the year 40-yard kick with a little bit to spare.
Really good kick, and the snap it looked like was a little bit off, but the holder did a great job of getting the ball down for him, and Tanner was not deterred, just squeaked it inside the left.
Threw that upright on the side. Good
Nice
job
kick,
by
Huddy.
Hudson Tanner, though. That's a tough position to be in, knowing how much that meant to your team.
Yeah, you're in a
17-9.
one-score game now.
The kick, by the way, the extra point after their touchdown was missed on a botched snap, not because Tanner missed it. So far, interesting. Coach Bonneville tries to draw him off twice, then decides to go for the field goal, and suddenly this is a one-score game going to half, depending on what's happening here for these last 41 seconds. Hilton Head does have 2 timeouts of their own.
Yeah, the only way that could have gone better for May River is if they scored a touchdown or they left nothing on the clock.
Yes.
I mean, that was exactly what they needed. A long, sustained drive, keep a defense off the field, put points on the board, one-score game. Now if they can just get into halftime in a one-score game, I think they have to feel great about that considering everything that's happened.
You know, I talked to some of the coaches earlier about, well, what are you talking to the refs about all the time? Well, they're trying to put something in their ear so they remember it going
Plant
into half,
seeds.
whatever it may be, to remind them that these things are going on. And it's a real chess game as you're doing it. You know, you saw with Kirby Smart from Georgia and how that worked to his advantage against Auburn. Interesting to see. I'd say that wherever Hank's not listening right now, but
Didn't
he's a
work
Georgia
as well
guy,
for
so.
Hugh Freeze.
Not as well. He didn't get in their ears properly.
He did not
so.
get as much satisfaction.
So here is the kickoff. And that kick appears to be just short. And Zarnecki's going to take it out. He's to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. He's going to get to about the 21-yard line, and that's about it before 5 different gang tacklers get to him from May River. You would think they probably kneel on this. They were hoping for a big play, maybe one shot downfield, see what they can get.
Yeah.
You get the ball.
I wouldn't
half,
surprise.
so.
Maybe a little screen pass or something. See if you can't pop something. But it's going to be low risk. You don't want to take any chance.
They are just going to kneel on this. When you get the kickoff to start the half, I think if it was different, if May River got the ball instead, I think BJ Payne thinks differently on this one. Why not? Go in with an 8-point lead, feel good about your team, saying, we're going to drive right back down and score to start this second half. Very interesting to see. So an entertaining, maybe not the best played first half so far on either side, but Hilton Head's going to be happy as they go to the locker room with a 17-9 lead at May River. We'll see what the Sharks can do when we get out in the second half. In the meantime, we've got our halftime show with a performance of the game with lots more for you to tell you about when we get back right here on the WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week.
Now back to the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week. and your Georgia Department of Public Health at the half.
So some fireworks on both sides, a lot of miscues though as well. This one cost them no points, but the first one gave Hilton Head a touchdown, and they took that early lead. 17-9 they now hold over May River. Andrew Davis here with Justin Jarrett from Loco Sports. So, I mean, the miscues are what everybody's going to talk about from the first half. I'd like to say both defenses on the interior especially are stopping running games.
Yeah, I mean, really the defenses haven't given up much of anything. A couple of field goals due to short fields, and good drive by May River there at the end of the half. That's probably the best sustained drive of the game so far. So we'll see if they can carry that over in the second half and hang on to the ball.
You don't always get that excited about a field goal, but for them that was an enormous play to get within one score. Before the half, they start one defensive play, and suddenly this is a whole different game.
Well, and just something positive to go into the locker room on. Now they've got something to lean on as they try to get their guys to pick their heads up. And, you know, you've made a big mistake early in the game, but you've got a chance to impact the game down the stretch. So it should be a great second half.
Should be really good out there. The bands are about to get ready on the field. The fans getting ready for their second half festivities as well. The Coastal Health District works to improve lives in our region, and dental health is very important to a family. This week we're talking about a Coastal Health District program that's putting a smile on the faces of kids and their parents. Here's Ginger Heidel with the Georgia Department of Public Health at the half.
Thanks so much for that, Andrew. I am Ginger Heidel with the Coastal Health District, and I am joined tonight by Dr. Deborah Smith, who is a dentist with our district's dental health program. Thank you for being with us tonight. And let's talk about how early oral health should begin. I think it's going to be earlier than a lot of people think. When should parents think about starting to get their kid in to see a dentist?
The newest information is that children should visit a dentist as soon as the first tooth erupts, no later than the first birthday.
Wow, so if you've got a child who's 7 months old and that first tooth starts to come in, then the advice is to go ahead and check with your dentist now, right?
Absolutely. Most parents don't realize, too, that as soon as that first tooth erupts, they should begin brushing that tooth. Water is recommended until a child is 1 year old. At the age of 1 year, fluoride toothpaste can be used, but only a dot the size of 1 grain of rice. Parents should also begin flossing teeth as soon as 2 teeth erupt.
Wow, so if you've got 2 teeth next to each other, then
Absolutely.
That's when the flossing starts. Okay, so what are some of the risks of delaying dental care until, you know, kindergarten or something like that?
Anytime you delay dental care, number one, if there is a cavity, it can get larger. This can cause pain for a child, which can affect their growth and development because they cannot eat properly, and it may affect their speech. So everyone from the age of 1 year to 100 years needs to visit their dentist twice a year. This dental decay can be prevented.
Okay, and along those lines of prevention and dental care, so you run a children's dental clinic at the Chatham County Health Department on Eisenhower Drive.
Yes.
What sorts of issues do you see in your clinic on a regular basis?
I see cavities that are caused by high sugar consumption and a child not brushing or flossing every day. I see 1-year-olds with cavities. Anytime a child goes to sleep with a bottle or cup in their mouth, it causes an acidic environment and 100% will decay their teeth. So no cups, no sippy cups, no bottles in the bed. I see sports injuries where children are hit in the mouth, teens are hit in the mouth. Mouth guards should always be worn when children are playing sports. I also see damage from vaping and tobacco use. Vaping is not safe, nor is tobacco. It can damage the mouth and teeth.
You know, a lot of people think about that in regards to lungs, but you've got the whole mouth and teeth and throat, and there are a lot of things that go into play when you're looking at those substances. So thank you for that reminder. And take us back to the basics of brushing and flossing, how often we should be doing that. Both children and we need to be setting a good example as grown-ups as well.
Yes, everyone should brush their teeth twice a day at least with a soft bristled toothbrush and fluoride toothpaste. Everyone should floss every day. I believe parents should help children with brushing and flossing until they're 10 or 11 years old. It's also important to remember to replace your toothbrush every 3 months. If the bristles are worn sooner than that, and if I get a virus or a flu, I always recommend that we change our toothbrush.
Okay, and what role does nutrition play in dental health?
Nutrition is very important. Our mouths have bacteria. Anything that has a lot of sugar, you feed the bacteria, then the bacteria produce acid, and that is what damages tooth enamel. So we always stress low sugar consumption. water or plain milk to drink. Soda and sports drinks are very acidic and they have a lot of sugar, so I don't recommend them. Juice can also have a lot of sugar. Fruits, vegetables, yogurt, and cheese for snacks. Chewing gum should be sugar-free. I also recommend that you check the pH of bottled water. Some of them are very acidic. And I recommend that you read the label of everything you eat and drink to determine the sugar content.
Okay, lots of great information. Thank you so much, Dr. Smith.
And thank you, Ginger. We want to remind you the WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week brought to you by the Coastal Health District, improving health for those who live, work, and play in the coastal counties of Southeast Georgia. Learn how the Georgia Department of Public Health can help at coastalhealthdistrict.org. Right now, May River fans hoping for a little bit of help. The band is playing the sounds of hopefully holding on to the ball because they got 3 fumbles in the first half. We'll see how the second half plays out right here at May River. Hilton Head with a 17-9 lead on the Sharks.
Now, more of the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week halftime show, sponsored by the Georgia Department of Public Health.
So far, Hilton Head's offense has done what they've needed to, including quarterback sneaks for touchdown. 17-9 over May River, taking advantage of some May River turnovers and putting them in a position to take the halftime lead. I'm Andrew Davis right here at May River. The band continues to play on the field. At the same time, this is football weather, everybody. You need a little sweater. It's perfect cool temperatures out there. Scott Roberts is back in the studio. I'm sorry you're not experiencing it with us, Scott, but we'll appreciate what you brought us and some beautiful weather tonight on Friday, hoping the rest of the weekend looks the same.
Yeah, as far as what we were looking at this evening, it is fantastic football weather out there, and with a breeze out there, definitely a little bit of a chill in the air, and temperatures will continue to drop off as the games go on. Temps in the 60s for many of us. Now for tomorrow, there are a lot of home games around the southeast for our college teams around the region. For South Carolina, Oklahoma taking on USC tomorrow just after 12:30, kickoff at 12:45. Temperatures will be in the lower 70s early on, climbing into the upper 70s. There's a chance that Columbia gets into the lower 80s for highs, but fantastic conditions for football. They're going to be going to Athens. Ole Miss taking on Georgia. Kickoff at 3:30 with temperatures in the lower 80s, holding fairly steady with the mainly sunny sky of a light breeze out there. Temperatures cooling off into the upper 70s as that game starts to wrap up, but either way, pretty comfortable thanks to low humidity. Southern Methodist heading to Clemson Clemson take on the Clemson Tigers. Kickoff at 3:30. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s for kickoff. 80 degrees by 4 o'clock, so overall not bad. One of the warmer games around the region. And if you're going to be heading to Statesboro for Georgia Southern. Georgia State taking on Georgia Southern. That kickoff at 7 o'clock. Temperatures will be dropping off into the lower 60s as the game goes on with a mainly clear sky. So fantastic conditions out there in Bullitt County. Now, as far as other games across the region, Georgia Tech taking on Duke at 12 o'clock. Temperatures at kickoff in the upper 60s. Coastal Carolina taking on Appalachian State at 3:30. 72 degrees will be the kickoff temperature. And as far as Savannah State taking on, I can't remember the team there, but the HBCU Good Trouble Classic is happening in Augusta. Fort Valley State is that team, actually. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s for those temperatures, so great conditions up there in Augusta. Of course, they're playing on neutral territory for that special game. As far as the rest of the weekend, temperatures will be in the upper 70s for Saturday. Some showers move in on Sunday. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s, so not a bad weekend overall, but those shower chances do increase for us on Sunday. We'll talk more about that coming up tonight on WSAV News 3 at 11. For now, Andrew, back to you.
Nothing to complain about there. I know we can't complain about the forecast, especially when it's this good. And this is perfect football weather. And so far, not a perfect first half for either one of these teams, but a good set of football we've got coming in the second half. Hilton Head Island taking advantage of those miscues by the May River Sharks. They now lead 17-9 right here at half. We'll come back with some of the highlights from the first half, some analysis, and much more as we get ready for kickoff right here on the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week.
You've been watching the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week halftime show, presented by the Georgia Department of Public Health.
The WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week brought to you by O.C. Welch Ford Lincoln. Find the certified pre-owned car or truck you're looking for online at GoSeeOCFord.com. Right now, nobody's going anywhere but watching the rest of this game because it's a good one. 17-9 right now, and they're all excited in the stands. Poppers for everybody out there. Purple poppers honoring Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I believe, for May River. Always supporting all the people in our area. Andrew Davis here with Justin Jarrett. So the fans are still into it. They think their team very much can win this game.
Yeah, absolutely a lively atmosphere here at halftime. You got the band out there. You got the student section all ready to go. So I think May River's very much in this game. I think emotionally they got to go do some healing in the locker room, and now they're ready to come out and play a good second half. I think it's going down to the wire.
Interesting first half. A lot of different things going on in those highlights so far. And really the first big play was the first play that made a difference, which was that fumble by Mitchell right into the hands of Thaddeus Zarnecki, and he was able to take it to the zone.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like that was going to really set Hilton Head up to maybe run away with this thing, but right back, the Sharks with a big play of their own.
Pretty incredible when you look at it. So they kicked short to keep it out of the big guy's hands. Instead, they kicked it short and right into the hands of the man who would take care of business and take it all the way to the zone. Two different broken tackles and all the way. Boy, you couldn't ask for more if you were the Sharks fans.
Mason Swigert was the man of the moment right there, stepping up with a huge play and getting the Sharks right back in it. Of course,
the botched extra point, you had the holder and the snapper here about 5 minutes before the half time ended to make sure they were getting those snaps right. From there, another fumble by May River right into the hands of our guys from Seahawk land. They were able to cash this one in.
Yeah, Will Jimenez with a couple of fumble recoveries in that first half, and then Derek Ratajewski, some tough running to get it over the goal line.
And here's that third fumble, yes, third of the half. Will Jimenez couldn't stay on his feet. That would eventually cost him some points. Hilton Head wasn't able to put it through. Instead, they get the field goal for Bo Sexton. So you're up there exactly what they needed, 17-6 at that point. May River then went on a very extended drive, did exactly what they like to do. Burn clock, get 5 and 6 yards of carry, if not more. Reed's done a very nice job as the B guy for them so far.
Yeah, and that was exactly what they needed. Their offense was really getting in their feelings a little bit, but they had some success there at the end of the half. Put a field goal on the board with Hudson Tanner with just squeaking it through there. And May River had some confidence and some positivity to take to the locker room.
And a season long for Tanner gets him down to 17-9, and that's where we are now as we head right over to the kickoff for the second half.
This kickoff brought to you by Eggs Up Grill, number 30, Eric Rabatello. Kicking off for the Sharks.
May River will go ahead and kick this one off to Hilton Head, who deferred to the second half. And that one will go into the end zone. Nothing doing for Zarnecki or anybody else. So now we'll have to see what the Seahawks can do. Their running game has not been great. Zarnecki only has a few yards and a few carries. Risher not making a difference. Zarnecki just with 8 yards rushing thus far. Renchevsky, he's the one. Ranazuski's gotten more yards than everybody else on the ground so far on that side of the game. But the passing game has been good. He was 4 of 4 for 48 yards, 12 rushes total for 44 for Hilton Head. They're going to need to do more than that. 72 passing yards, and then 6 of 7 for 72. So we'll see what they can do. Here is Hilton Head, the first handoff right up the middle to Zarnecki. They got nothing up the middle all the first half. First down on that one, though. First play, big yardage.
Yeah, we'll see if they recommit themselves to the ground game here, because I felt like they just kind of ran it up the middle a few times. They didn't really commit themselves to trying to establish that run. They looked for a lot of short passes early on, but let's see if they try to kind of impose their will here.
Big play for 16 there for Thaddeus Zarnecki right up the middle. As you said, they got nothing up the middle. Here's Zarnecki again, and you're right, they went away from that running game. They went to a passing game a lot and tried sort of trickeration more than anything. Now I think they're getting back to what made them so good. So we'll see. How about Hank Tatum right down on the sidelines? Hank, what'd you hear from the coaches?
Well, guys, we'll start with Hilton Head and head coach BJ Payne. He said, he felt like his defense was doing everything they could at getting the 3 forced turnovers there in that first half, but their offense was a little slow, and he attributed a lot of that to the bye last week. Said they came out of the gate slow and needed to be better in the second half. He was disappointed with the field goal they had to settle for. Now, on the other side from May River, head coach Bronneville said that he thought his team did everything that they could to be in this game, but the fumbles were killing them. Some of them you can't really control, so he felt very confident going into the locker room saying, we're right in this game. We just need to make sure we hold on to the ball. We'll see if they can better protect it or if Hilton Head can kind of get that offense going in the second half.
Well, we'll see what they can do on defense first. Thank you, Hank, for that. We'll see 3rd and 1. They'd like a stop here and get that ball back and run some clock if they can. The Seahawks with 2 backs in the backfield, but in that shotgun formation. Now Renchevsky's looking at it. He's still going to stay in that shotgun. He's going to hand it off to Zarnecki again, and much more than 1. Zarnecki's going to get 6, maybe 7 before everybody stops him up there. As we said, the running game only came up with those 44 yards. They've already got 30 on these first 5 plays.
Yeah, and it looks like the Hilton Head offensive line is doing a much better job here in the second half of getting off the ball, firing up field, and creating some opportunity for Zarnecki to find a hole and do what he does. Because there was just nothing there in the first half. May River was really filling the gaps, but Seahawks getting off the ball now.
Here's the handoff this time to Risher. He's almost brought down the backfield, able to slip a tackle. And he'll get 3, almost 4 yards on that one before being brought down by a host of tacklers, including Hudson Tanner.
Yeah, it looked like they had him in the backfield, but Risher, he's a big, strong kid, kept the legs moving, slipped away, and got a couple of yards.
And they really complement each other well, Risher and Zarnecki. They both have some of the same talent.
Yeah.
Zarnecki actually smaller, but probably your better inside rusher. Risher's got that explosive speed to the outside, but can break a tackle when need be.
Yeah, they're both a little thunder and a little lightning in different size packages. They run similarly despite being completely different sizes.
There's Renchevsky. He's going to get it over, and that's a catch for Walters right there.
Got a flag down.
Another flag, which really hurt Hilton Head in the first half. They had 6 penalties.
Eligible receiver downfield, offense number 60. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That pump fake got him. The linemen, usually they can only get down. They can't get down on the screens on those plays, so he moved too far forward.
He was all the way at the first down marker, so he was a good bit upfield.
You probably watched Caden Proctor from Alabama and thought he's going to catch the ball this time, too. Now that all the tackles want to catch it. So.
Hey, I'm a Mizzou grad. You're giving me PTSD here.
I forgot about that. Sorry about that, buddy. So 2nd and 12 now. After, yeah, you're right. The lineman was at least 8 yards downfield.
Yeah, it was a good bit down.
There's a handoff again to Risher. He's going to get a couple. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage and a little bit more. Down, it'll be 3rd and 9.
This is a great rally here by May River's defense. After the way this drive started, it looked like the Seahawks might run it right down the field and make it a 2-score game again. But now they've got a chance to get off the field and force a punt.
Sort of no man's land for Hilton Head, too, if they don't get this first down. You're right about the 50. Do you end up going for it? Is it 2-down territory, 4-down territory in this case, or 2 more down? We'll have to see what Coach Payne decides to do. In the meantime, though, they're going to put 5 wides out on this and going to leave Renchevsky for himself. He's going to get a little pressure, but he's going to get it off, and it's going to hit his receiver in the hands and maybe the head. Aiden McDonald couldn't come up with that. A lot of traffic, though. I think a couple guys in front of him when that happened.
Yeah, I think that one went right through the hands and into the face mask, and he'd love to have that one back. And DB kind of got up in his, that was Hudson Tanner, kind of got up in his line of sight, I think, there, and maybe took his eye off the ball for a second.
Renchevsky out here is the quarterback. He's also a possible punter, had a pooch punt earlier. Right now, they've got 4 wides. Now he's going to drop back into that punt formation. And see if he can pin him deep. That's exactly what he's going to try. That's going to be inside the 10, inside the 5. Was a great save.
Oh, no!
A beautiful save on that one by Ty Wiedemann, but then unfortunately knocked right back in the end zone. Too much speed on that one for Caden Stewart, and it'll be out at the 20.
Yeah, great play. I thought he might have stepped before he got rid of it anyway, so this might be a case of ball don't lie.
A little too anxious on that one for Mason Salibi.
Coming in hot.
He doesn't get a chance to touch it that much. You know, he's a 66. You don't see
he
that.
was excited.
So this is exactly what May River would have wanted. Now 4 minutes went off the clock for Hilton Head, but no points. Clock doesn't matter as much to May River right now. They'd like to keep this going as much as they can.
Yeah, as long as they're within 1 score, they want that clock running. If they get down 2 scores, they might get concerned about how much time's milking off. But
You're going to focus on number 1 right here. Mitchell's going to be 14 rushes, 50 yards for Mitchell. So as the refs talk this over, that'll be the question is, did they feel like he had possession before he jumped in the air and moved it back? So it'll be interesting to see what they end up calling here.
Well, I don't know what the rule is.
They are going to move it. It looks like they're going to move it back. I think they're going to say that he had possession. They're going to talk to Coach Bonneville about this one. Hank's going to get up there right up close and personal, find out what they're saying. Coach Bonneville has a different theory on where this ball should be, I believe, than where it's going to be.
Well, and
Coach Payne's not going to cross the field when they put it down at the 3. So
here's what I'll tell you. Coach Bonneville most likely knows exactly what the rule is. And he also knows exactly what interpretation of the rule will get him the ball on the 20-yard line, and he is arguing for that interpretation of the rule, regardless of what he normally
you're really
believes.
deep on that one to get that far. I like the movements when the coaches don't just do it, but then try to show you exactly why this should be what it is. And that's what he did. He was moving in a way to tell you exactly how that works. So we'll see.
Sometimes
Hank's listening
you
to everybody.
know the rule's
Let's
not in your
take it
favor.
over and see what Hank says the refs say right after the ref. Go ahead. Hold on.
It was legally touched by the kicking team at the 3-yard line. The ball is dead at that spot, first down.
All right, so they're going to say kicking team there. Hank, is that what you got from the refs?
Yeah, so they were just having a conversation with Coach Bonigal, and they said that it doesn't matter whether or not they control it. It's the spot of the very first touch. So that's where they're going to move the ball back to, even though it was never controlled. When it's touched, it's either May River can advance it, or that's where the spot will be.
And that's what I was wondering, because, you know, the high school rules are not the same as the NFL. These guys watch on Sundays, and they see guys make that play, but you don't have to make that play in high school. You can carry into the end zone and still down the ball.
So there was a ball was not ready for play is what they're saying. Not a flag in that case, but ball was not ready for play, so they're going to go ahead and go ahead and play that. So we'll see what happens here. So it's going to have to be a 97-yard drive if May River is going to try to tie this up. We'll see what their offense can do. They didn't have 97 yards total in the first half, so we'll see how they can pull this together, immediately get about 4, maybe 5 on that one right off the top for Mitchell.
Well, we'll see if they go 97 yards, how much time do they take off of this clock? Because they got it with a little over 8 minutes left here in the third. And if they go the distance of the field, we might be in the fourth quarter. They might finish this drive down here, too.
I don't think I want to be Sean McNulty. He's the guy who's to carry the play in every time, and he's putting more yards on than anything else. Here's the cut over to Reed. Now, Reed had a very good, Justin Head had a very good first half. He seemed to get big chunk yardage because I'm sure the focus is on trying to stop Sean Mitchell.
Yeah, and as soon as they recognized that and started going to that counter, Head was getting some good chunks on that last drive down the field.
So 3rd and 1 here. This is actually just what May River would want. They'd rather than get the first down after 2. They say, no, give us 3rd and 1. We'll take some more time off the clock, and they'll dive it right up the middle for that first down.
Yeah, their ideal drive goes first, second, third, first, second, third, first, second, third,
every
all
time.
the way down
Sometimes
the
a
field.
4th mixed in there if they have to.
3rd and 1 is their bread and butter.
And Mitchell did get it. He got over the line on that one. So 6:56 left. May River down by 8. They've had 3 turnovers on 3 fumbles. One of those Hilton Head ran immediately into the end zone for a touchdown. The other one turned into another touchdown for them. But that's where we are right now with that field goal on both sides, 17-9. Andrew Davis here with Justin Jarrett from Loco Sports. Nothing doing on that play. The defense coming up strong. Will Jimenez, we've called his name any number of times. He's got 2 fumble recoveries already, 54 tackles on the year, 10 for loss, 2 sacks. He's got a pick. He's got a forced fumble. He's got a little bit of the poo-poo platter of everything on the defense side.
Yeah, and a barbecue spare rib.
Exactly.
He really is the leader of that defense. He's a smart kid. He's been in the program for years and knows his assignments and leads that team well.
There's the play on the counter, and nothing doing this time. The interior of that defensive line done a nice job. We haven't called Andrew Massey's number yet. He's usually sort of that safety corner, so without wide receivers out there, he hasn't had as much to do.
Yeah, it's kind of a slow week for Andrew Massey and Lewis Gatson. I don't know. Gadsden's out on the field too, but he doesn't have nothing to do over there.
He's way back there in case they break to the second level, and they haven't gotten that far really any time so far. Reed got one for about 9 yards.
And they haven't really run anything outside either. It's all been up between the tackles. Even that counter stays in tight.
So we'll see here, 3rd and 9. It's a long one. They will throw for the first time all day. They're going deep. Nothing happening there. They were hoping maybe to get a flag off of this or something. So the first pass of the entire game, their first pass in 2 weeks, falls incomplete, and May River looks like they will have to punt.
Well, that did not look like a lot of their passes this year because it was covered. They defended it. They saw it coming.
But in this offense, it's a one-man pattern too. Yeah. I mean, he's dropping back and throwing it up for grabs, hoping that his guy is open.
Yeah, he's just putting it up there, and could have been a dangerous pass, but falls harmlessly. But yeah, Seahawks had it well covered.
So here's Hudson Tanner, the kicker, also the punter in this case, averaging about 38 yards a carry. There will be a timeout, though. Timeout from Hilton Head, interestingly enough. Didn't like the setup, or maybe didn't have enough guys on the field. So Coach Payne decides better times to go ahead and call the timeout now. We'll see if that costs them later in this ball game. Taking a look at what else we got for the Friday night Blitz tonight. We've got all kinds of games. I think Joey said earlier, they may have 21 games at 11:15 on WSAV. And there's a variety of really interesting ones as we get late into the season. Benedictine, by the way, is absolutely hammering Wayne County. They are now getting into playoff shape. I believe it's a 31 or 41 point lead for them right now. Jenkins County, Bryan County, some good games on that one. You know, Benedictine, we got them. Savannah Country Day, Toombs County. Toombs County is in that layer. They're always in the mix for the title for the region and beyond. We could see them so far. Screven County is beaten up on Savannah High, but only by 2 scores. So very interesting to see how those all turn out Friday 15 on the Friday night Blitz right here on WSAV tonight. Just know you got 1 or 2 loco scores over there for us.
Yeah, we got Bluffton leading Colleton County 28-12. Beaufort trailing Bishop England 24-14 at the half. And then how about this one? John Paul II up 47-7 on Thomas Hayward at halftime.
Thomas Hayward used to be right in the mix for a title every year. This year, not quite the same. And John Paul quietly putting together a pretty good program.
Man, 5-3 this year after winning just 1 game last year and 2 the year before. Shane Milligan has really got the foundation built over there, and they're looking strong, and they are young. They're going to be good for a while.
That's interesting to see what they can do. So in the meantime, what we know May River seems to want to do is going to be punt here from the shadow of their own end zone. 2 men deep, Walters and Zarnecki, and they will go ahead and punt this one. Tanner with a very good kick. Walters is going to get that. He will return it. He'll get 2-3 before he's laid out on that one.
Yeah. Probably,
big shot.
Probably thinking he should have fair caught that one.
Well, Chris Beckman is going to wave off the cobwebs off of Walters as we take a break right now. 17-9, 5:14 left in the 3rd quarter. We'll see what Hilton Head can do. Can they extend this lead? We'll tell you right next on the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week. The WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week brought to you by Chicken Salad Chick. Deliciously fresh in Bluffton, Savannah, Pooler, and Statesboro. Made from scratch, served from the heart. And as always, we thank Chicken Salad Chick for feeding our crew tonight. And good sandwiches that keep us through all night long.
I love Chicken Salad Chick. Good stuff.
There's more left for you, so you'll be there for you after the game. So, but you can't go now.
I think it's appropriately chilled at this point, too, because it's a little brisk out here tonight. First signs of fall.
Brisk so far. So you're talking about the fact that May River needs their running game to get it in gear on offense. 107 total yards is all they have. Hilton Head's defense has come up to the challenge.
Yeah, and you know, for some teams, 107 total yards at this point in the game wouldn't be that bad because they'd also have, you know, a couple hundred passing or 150 passing. But when you don't have that element in your game, you got to put up 300 on the ground every game to be successful.
4 for Thaddeus Zarnecki there, but the other thing is 107 yards wouldn't be so bad if you hadn't put 3 balls on the ground, too.
Yeah.
3 fumbles, including 1 returned immediately for a touchdown by Hilton Head. So now Zarnecki trying to grind some clock. You figure Hilton Head with that 8-point lead would love to see 5 minutes come off this clock, go all the way to the 4th quarter, and see 1 in the end zone.
Yeah, May River's not built to score fast, so the clock is definitely Hilton Head's friend at this stage with the lead and the ball, and they want to keep it running.
There's Zarnecki again. He's going to get past the first down and much more. I don't know if anybody's going to catch him. He will go for the score. Huge play from Thaddeus Zarnecki looking for any doom. He found
No
the
flag.
smallest sliver of area and turned on the Jets to go for 6.
He went high knees through the trenches too. He stepped out of a couple of tackles, and then once he gets into that secondary, he is tough to catch. Those guys don't bring him down easily.
Boy, it looked like somebody had a bead on him, but it was never able to come all the way through. Zarnecki, look at the size of him, just able to break one tackle and jump over another one, and then nobody with the speed to catch a huge cutback. What a great cutback by Zarnecki to make it there.
And what a great sense of where the defenders are when he needs to lift those feet up and get out of trouble.
So Hilton Head with the first big play of the second half, and it's going to be a tough sledding for May River here quickly. 4:30 left here in the third quarter, 24-9. May River's going to need to break off some chunk yardage, which they haven't so far on the running game.
Yeah, now they've got to kind of get it into high gear, because now, you know, they're 2 scores down, and they need points on this drive, and they need to put it in the end zone. The offense has not done that yet tonight. The only touchdown coming on a kick return. So they really need this offense to get going and spark something.
Be interesting to see what they can do. Mitchell's really been held mostly in check, 55 yards in all, but on 17 carries. He's going to be the guy they probably need to break one, or they need some trick play, something that'll get Hilton Head off balance.
And he has taken a pretty good pounding so far as well. They are hitting him every time he touches the ball.
Zarnecki with 77 yards on his own, leading sort of the premier back race between the two teams. He missed a couple games, but has been very strong. 67 for 478 coming in this game and 6 touchdowns. This was his 7th touchdown on offense. By the way, he's got one on defense too. Yeah. There's the cutback. And again, that's Swigert trying to make something happen. He's already got a touchdown, pulled down after a big, nice play. Noah Pepitone, the junior, with the play.
Well, that was Hudson Tanner on the return. So
oh, you're right.
He's a kicker, he's a defensive player, and he's returning kicks over there.
Gets it down to the 31. You're right. I thought I saw 13, but it was 16 instead. So far, Tanner has kicked, punted, played defense, run the ball a little bit, whatever he needs to do. May River needs to do something big and quick. There's the cut back on the slot back.
Head on the carry again on that counter.
Monte Roberts making the tackle on Head.
Roberts, former Hardyville guy, came over along with Lewis Gadsden. They have family over here. Came over to Hilton Head this year, and they've been a good addition to this defense.
BJ really with a lot of homegrown talent, but picked up a couple with Risher, and those two guys have really aided the speed, especially on defense.
Absolutely, and I mean that's part of the game these days. Kids are looking for a spot where they feel like they fit.
There's Tran, who's going to drop back to pass again, and again he's going to throw it up, and again he's going to overshoot both receivers, actually 2 receivers in the pattern. There's a flag on the field as well.
And again, good coverage. This is back in the area of either holding or a personal foul.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 3, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Boy, big mistake there for the Seahawks, benefiting the Sharks. We'll have to get a look at that. I mean, Tran really just sort of drops back and isn't looking anywhere.
He just chucks it.
He just chucks it up in the air. Let's see as we get a good look on this one after he throws it.
He did take a little peek there, and he knew there was coverage, so he made sure to put some air under it. But, man, those pass rushers have been just chomping at the bit all night, and they finally got to rush the quarterback, and they couldn't hold themselves back.
Interesting to see on that one. It was hard to see behind the line, but it was pretty clear somebody took an extra step before they made it to quarterback. And you're right, they've been just jonesing to be able to hit somebody because they haven't had a chance.
Josh Bigger's like, come on, man, I get 3 sacks a game. Let me in there.
He's had a sack in every game this season up until now. So you know he wants to keep the streak going if he can.
Not many chances here.
There's Tran again to Head, and there's a big stick. Will Jimenez one more time.
He is just an animal out there.
Whatever they're doing, they have found a way to get him open and get him into the running lanes.
And if you've paid attention to this team for the last 3-4 years, you've seen Will Jimenez's body transform. That kid has clearly fallen in love with the weight room, and he is just a beast tonight.
There's Tran. He's going to pitch it to Mitchell this time. Mitchell's going to get one of his better runs so far. That's probably for 7. Notice, by the way, a definite expansion and movement on this May River offense. Not nearly as slow as they were in the first half.
Yeah,
they're huddling up quickly and trying to get the ball. They have a sense that they understand what's going on here.
They're running some pace.
And there's Tran who hands it off again, I believe, to Mitchell or Cooper. That's Mitchell.
Yeah, it was Mitchell.
And Mitchell will get another first down, so they're at the 41-yard line.
I'd like to see them run that pitch a little bit more and allow Mitchell to get ahead of steam and get going downhill.
And there's Cooper on that one. He's going to get wrapped up. Nothing doing there. Javen Risher with the tackle. We said Risher's plan, probably like his brother who's over at South Carolina, a former Border Bowl MVP, by the way.
What a game he had in that game. Wow.
I talked to Risher, the social media and his team over there, and they were still talking about his brother and how much they remember that. So
everybody loves Catman.
There's the handoff to Mitchell again. Nothing doing. Catman had a huge game in the Border Bowl and really got him over to South Carolina after that because the scouts were able to see him. Risher really has a good defensive eye. 24 tackles, 5 for loss. He's got a sack, he's got a pick, he's got a touchdown. He can do both sides. He would love to be a running back, I think, but probably that safety linebacker as he grows bigger, that linebacker's where he's going to be.
Well, he's playing that same role, really, that Jalen Snead played for the Seahawks. That safety that rolls down to the linebacker spot. And he can even come down to the edge and pressure the quarterback. But he's a really versatile player who has a bright future in the game beyond high school.
There's the handoff to Mitchell again. Nothing doing that time. Give credit to Jason Arrieta as one of the guys in the middle playing tackles.
I call Jason Arrieta Maui. He resembles Maui from Moana.
Nice.
I know him from wrestling season. Great kid, really good athlete, and I think he's going to be a really good football player before it's all said and done at Hilton Head.
They've done a nice job. BJ really works his players to get them in position to get to the next level. That's what I always love is you see him during the season and after the season pushing forward to say they may not be high D1 guys, but they're going to get someplace if they want to keep playing football.
Yeah, he's the best in the business at that.
May River here. Here's the handoff. No, it's going to be the pitch to the outside to Head. And Head until he's pulled down. Samaj Robinson on that on 4th down. And Hilton Head will take over with 1:07 left in the 3rd quarter. What a play by the Seahawks.
Man, it's a great play design. They got Head to the outside, and he had space. And it really looked like he was going to pick it up as Samaj tracking from the outside, from the inside, rather, coming in and laying him down. Great open field tackle to turn the ball over on down.
Samaj, that 3rd running back, he got some playing time when Zarnecki went down, put 161 on the board on the running game, but defensively, he made maybe the biggest play of the game so far.
It takes everybody. It really takes everybody to be successful, and the Seahawks are a testament to that.
There's the handoff to Walters, the wide receiver. As you said, he does a little bit of everything for them. He's going to get 3, maybe 4, as we're under a minute in the 3rd. This is sort of nightmare territory for May River. They really needed that drive to get back in this ball game, and by getting off on that 4th down, Hilton Head now can milk this clock.
Yeah, it's the math is not mathing too great right now for May River, and it's only going to get worse the more time Hilton Head can run off this clock. You talked about BJ and getting kids to the next level. What he does so well is knowing the metrics that coaches are looking for at the next level and finding the box that a kid can fit into and molding them into that.
There's Robinson, who made the big play on defense. This time, though, nothing doing on offense. He's going to lose 5 on a huge play. Excellent job by Hudson Tanner. We call his name again. 16 seconds. We're going to take this down to the end of the 3rd quarter. So it's going to be 3rd and 11 on pretty much a must stop for May River as the quarter ticks down. Hilton Head does what they need to. Adds 1 more score on the board. They now lead May River 24-9. Can the Sharks stop the Seahawks, get the ball back, and get back in this game? We'll tell you right after the break here on the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week. The WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week brought to you by OC Welch Ford Lincoln. Find the certified pre-owned car or truck you're looking for online at GoCOCFord.com. So Hilton Head now 3rd and 9, 3rd and almost 10, with maybe a must stop if you're May River, down right now 24-9 with an offense that needs a little bit of time to put points on the board. We'll see what the Seahawks can do. Renchevsky, he's got the ball. He's going to run with it. He's going to get nothing, though. Only a yard. Good play by that defense. We said it was a must stop, and they did exactly what they needed to.
Yeah, it's a big stop, and now let's see what B.J. Payne elects
Campbell.
to do here. You presume that they will punt it away.
Mason Campbell, the linebacker there. That's his at least 40th tackle of the season.
Had a really good year.
Nice player,
The
good
Sharks.
length on this. They're just going to work this clock. 17 seconds left on the play clock. 11:27 left. 4th down.
Now they'll drop
Another
into the
pooch punt here.
formation.
Like it's not a pooch punt from distance. Almost great job in getting that off, because that almost was blocked by the Sharks.
Tanner.
And Tanner again, but
Nowhere to go.
pulled down. Nothing doing. Caden Stewart out there.
And
Do
a
the
flag.
business. And
Late.
there's a flag on the field as well.
Extracurriculars.
So we've been talking about that May River offense and what they're able to do. Nice punt here. This is a history of B.J. Payne getting some college guys he played for him going to college, and there are a bunch of them out there
After the
right
play
now
was over,
too.
dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, receiving team number 16. The penalty is half the distance to the goal, 1st down. This is also number 16's first unsportsmanlike conduct towards disqualification.
Did not need that. Coach Bonneville not going to be happy with this team after this game, win or lose, even if they come back.
Nah,
3
he's a
fumbles.
Citadel guy. It's all about
Yeah.
discipline and accountability.
That's
so
the 3rd personal foul they've had. They had 2 on 1 play before that, and then this one too. You know, you've got to stay within yourself, because you're playing a team that's physically more talented than
Yeah.
you, which he's going to play 95% of the time. You need to do everything right.
the little things become the biggest things, and you have to do the little things well. They have not tonight.
See what happens here. There's Tran, and Tran is going to go up the middle for good yardage. That's his maybe the biggest play of the day for the Sharks. Going into that, they had a total of 40 rushes for only 125 yards. Our guy, stats guy Taj, is all over it on this one.
Taj has got it
taking
on
care
lock.
of it. Hasn't as much to do as he normally does in a wide open game. This one's going to go no place right up the
Well,
middle.
he's had to try to track who's got the dang ball when
That's
Rivers
the hardest
on
part.
offense, and that is no joke.
So far, Taj has done a good job, because I haven't been able to figure it out a couple times.
I don't know who's mattered, Taj, the pass rushers for Hilton Head, or the DBs for Hilton Head.
Taj never wanted a spread out game in his life more right now than a run and shoot game.
It's like, just let me see their numbers, please.
Here's May River moving much quicker than they did. That's Tran, who got more yardage. As I said, Tran about 337 yards coming into this game on 68 carries. That's the 3rd most carries on the team, but really not for the yardage. But he's not there. He's there to distribute the ball.
Yeah, he only takes it when it's there. You know, I mean, his job is to make the read, and he pulls the ball when the read tells him to, and that's the only time.
And it's hard to run a full hurry up the way this Texas slot T runs. There's Mitchell. He's going to get over the 34 to the 35-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down after a gain of about 9.
The only good thing is it doesn't really take them out of their rhythm to go at pace, because they always kind of operate at pace the way they go up to the line of scrimmage. They just have to get the play call in faster is all they have to do.
Guess who's in the middle of that one, Justin? Will Jimenez.
Yeah.
Shockingly enough. There's Mitchell again, running over a few guys there to get some good chunk yardage. Gain of about 5. They are moving much quicker. They're almost like to be this close to the sideline so they can run a short play to over the coaches to find out what they need to call.
Yeah, and I imagine your playbook gets a little bit shorter in this case, too, because you're just trying to get them in quick.
And that's going to be a false start there. Nobody was set, trying to move too quickly at that point.
And a lot of their plays have multiple options on them, too. So
Dead ball, false start. Offense number 17, 5-yard penalty Second down.
I think it's one of those things we joke about it, saying, well, the playbook is only 6 or 7 plays, but there are 3 or 4 options off of each one of those plays in the base, and then you've got your trick plays on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we haven't really seen the gadget plays. I thought we might see a halfback pass or some kind of trick play out of May River tonight, but oh no.
It's another fumble straight up in the air. Tran, I think, caught it in the air, but that's going to lose yardage as multiple players from Hilton on that.
That looked a lot like the one that was the miscommunication on the snap count where the timing was.
Boy, and Tran pulled it away from Josh Bigger, who almost had it in his hands, and he was thinking 6 the whole way.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was, and he can move. He's a big fella, but he can move. He's going to add to that list that we started to talk about of Hilton Head players at the next level.
Coach Payne said, really, if he was a little bit bigger, there'd be high D1s all over him right now, but he's still going to get a really good spot someplace.
Hayden Crockett in there. He looks like a monster.
Coach Payne said he would get some time on defense. We said with Benji Elliott down, they needed some more big guys, especially with this running game. Now it's 4th and 10. This is not a place that May River wants to be, but you know they will be going for this because they have no choice down 24-9.
This is another really, really good effort from Hilton Head's defense. I mean, the last couple of games, they've faced some pretty prolific offenses, and they've had great game plans and executed them really well.
No, they will be punting. So at this point, May River sort of calling no joy right now, saying we don't have the offense to come back in this point in the game. So it would be interesting to see, but it looks like May River says, Hilton Head, you have gotten us so far. We'll see what exactly happens. There's still a chance. 24-9 here in the 4th quarter. We'll be right back with much more right here on the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week. The WSAV CW Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week brought to you by O.C. Welch Ford Lincoln. Check out our exciting lineup featuring Aviator, Corsair, Nautilus, and Navigator. Looking for a Lincoln? Go see O.C. today. Hank, what you got for us on the sidelines? You've been talking to coaches.
Well, guys, about 7.5 minutes left, and right there in that Hilton Head huddle, I got in there to hear what Coach B.J. Payne was telling his team. And first off, he said, let's slow things down, okay? We want a long, methodical drive, so we're not going to move as quick and try and run out more, the most of this 4th quarter clock. And the message was very clear that he finished with, and it was take their souls.
And here it is. So they're not going, but they're going to go deep on the first play, and that's going to be intercepted, I believe.
That's simultaneous possession, and that goes to the offense.
They are. So, you know what? Let's give all the credit on that one to Caden Stewart.
Yeah.
That was an interception.
It sure was.
He absolutely pulled from the May River corner, and Coach Bonneville, I'm sure, is going crazy on that one.
So much for slow and methodical,
yeah, really, not slow and methodical anymore.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, that was...
I think Ethan Seabrook on that in the middle and simultaneous possession, but I thought Seabrook had the pick, but no giving up on there for Caden Stewart, who lost a bomb earlier. He will get this one on the books this time. And here's Risher, and Risher will get down to the 10-yard line. So methodical. I don't know, Hank. It sounds like they sold you a bill of goods over there.
I think they threw methodical out the window after he said take their souls. And
perhaps
they went for the soul.
Perhaps we need to talk about their side of things and what the word methodical is. But you know what? Let's talk about the Hilton Head team. We were saying BJ Payne does everything he can to get his guys in college. He's got some great guys on the college side right now and beyond, including, how about that guy, Puna Ford, who really made it all happen for them. He's over with the Rams now, having another really, really good year. A 2014 graduate, still tight with this program. Jalen Sneed playing well for Notre Dame right now, of course, at linebacker for the Irish.
He'll be on Sundays next year.
Absolutely. Chris Marable Jr., 2022 captain for Wake Forest. Then he's moved over to the transfer portal, and he's playing for BC. Chase McCracken now playing for his 4th season at running back for USC right now. Gaston Moore moved a couple times from Tennessee. Now he's over at South Florida, hoping to get a little bit of time, and the Bulls are playing very well. Shake Thompson's getting time for East Carolina and doing an excellent job as well. And that's just sort of the beginning of the guys, because it's the ones you're not talking about, the ones that go to Wofford or Georgia Southern, or any of these programs, the Citadel in the D2s and beyond, and he gives them a chance to keep playing and get an education.
Well, and guys like Cole DeMarzo, who went and played at Michigan State and then on to Wyoming, got his graduate degree, and now he's standing on the sideline over there with Coach Payne, coaching the Seahawks. So love to see that.
All right, so it's 2nd and 1 after the Risher run for 9. They're going to hand it to Risher again. He gets the corner. He'll cut it back, and he's going to get into the end zone for a big score. Javen Risher.
They call him Bill. Bill, they started to wear down this May River defense. You could see a little quit in that May River defense, starting to realize after that big pass that things were going against them. And Bill
I think
Risher,
after the punt, too, you had to look at it and go, well,
a little bit of a white flag.
White flag there. Bill, so we got Jakrowski Merritt, who's Bill, and Javen Risher, who's Bill as well.
Yeah, and I knew Javen was Bill before Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, so that threw me for a loop when I learned that. But got Catman and Bill in the Risher family.
I think you win if you get Catman instead of Bill as your nickname, don't you? So you're the older son, so Catman's much better than Bill.
Catman's a way cooler nickname.
I mean, we're proud of Bill. We're happy for him that he just scored, but if I have a choice, I want to be Catman. I don't want to be Bill.
We called him Catman Jr. a couple times on the Loco Sports, Loco Pigskin Live, which should be rolling live now. As soon as this game's over, jump over with Wes Kerr and get all the scores and highlights from around the Loco tonight.
Should be interesting. This is one of the best seasons, I think, for low country teams. When you look at what Bluffton's doing, May River and Hilton Head, all good and not all like, oh, they're all 5-3 and they're going to be a 3 seed going in the playoffs or something. These are teams that have danger written all over them. This Hilton Head team is in position, talking to BJ, they could get the #1 overall seed if things broke their way. At worst, they could potentially get a 2 seed and end up with 3 home games. And then who knows what happens if they can avoid, get the right draw. Bluffton, if I'm a 3 seed as a Bluffton, if I'm the 2 seed someplace, I don't want anything to do with that Bluffton team.
No, well, the seeding's a little different in 4A now. They use the RPI system through Max Preps to do the seeding. They do the region champs go 1, 2, 3, the region runners up go 4, 5, 6, and then they fill in from there using RPI, which is really a good change, because it used to be really at the mercy of the bracket and which regions you matched up with, and this is a little better system.
Well, that's what PJ was saying. We'd love that 1 seed, because that means we're basically home until state semis.
Right, yeah.
So that would be awesome if they could get that far. And then even the 2 seed, they want to lock one of those up, because the 3 seed, suddenly you're on the road. You're playing one of those high-level teams at their place. So
and right now they're ranked 4th right now in the Max Preps RPI statewide, 2nd in the lower state. So right now they would be the 2 seed and wouldn't have to travel until that lower state championship game at South Florence, where they lost last year.
And he said South Florence is playing somebody this week who is dangerous, and that game could actually shift some things. So he was taking a look at that. Right now, the danger for him is to make sure everybody stays healthy and happy. There's a run for May River. As they look at it and go, well, we've had a really good season so far. We're lining up for a 2 seed in the region and a shot at some good games, including 1 home game. That game against Bluffton is going to be so interesting, the complete shift of abilities, of talent, of systems.
Apples versus oranges.
What do you do,
Yeah, almost two different games being played by those 2 teams.
There's a run up the middle for Mitchell. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage at most, and it'll be 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that's a really interesting matchup to me, and 2 matchups last year, and they both went down to the wire. May River winning in the playoffs and overtime, and should be a tremendous matchup and should be second place in the region on the line.
There's the handoff again, this time up the middle. I think that was Cooper that time. He's going to get 4-5. It'll be 4th and 2. I think that's where Hilton Head gets credit here, Justin. Looking at it is this offense can be so frustrating. If you're May River, the ability just beat on you and beat on you and beat on you. And Hilton Head just stayed on them from the beginning and didn't get frustrated. Instead said, we're going to stop you and not let you get in that position, and got a couple breaks that went their way at the same time.
Yeah, they did. I think that early fumble and touchdown by Zarnecki was huge for them, just settling in and gaining confidence and just putting May River in fight or flight mode a little bit early on. And they have not looked super comfortable on offense throughout the night. And I think Hilton Head gets a ton of that credit. Again, going back to the Bishop England game, they have schemed up really well for these last 2 games, and they've executed it exceptionally.
There's Tran on the carry. He's going to get over the 50. This is a huge run. There will be a flag at the end of this, though, too, so we'll see what turns out to be there. Could be a face mask or could be a hole.
But there's a whole bunch of laundry on the field.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what Coach Payne was talking about, though, when we asked him before the game, as we hear what the flag is.
Personal foul, grasping and twisting the face mask. Defense number 11, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Before the game, I said, well, so will you try to take the ball on offense and try to put him behind the sticks early? And Coach said, no, I rely on my defense first, and it worked exactly the way he wanted it. Got the fumble return for the touchdown, and then from there, it seemed to be off to the races for the Seahawks.
I think this defense is really what makes this team a contender this year. I mean, they've gone up against some really stout offenses. The only one that got their number was James Island, and that's a top 10 team in Class 5.
There's the cutback here to Head, and Head's got good yardage. He's going to be down to the 15. He's had a very nice game for them.
He's had a really nice season in a year when he probably didn't expect to get a lot of run. Andrew Johnson's coming back. He's a senior, rushed for a ton of yards last year, and he figured he'd be his understudy, and now he's thrust into the action, and he gets better week after week. And they've got him for 2 more years. They have to be excited about that. He's going to grow, get bigger and stronger.
Absolutely. So Hilton Head calls a timeout here. They've gotten gashed a couple times on the run. Just want to make sure he gets the guys ready and tell them to make a few stops to make that clock move some more. You talk about Andrew Johnson, it's really too bad for him. Nice runner, 6'1", 185, had 1,100 yards last year, 16 touchdowns. At the same time, you're looking at only 350 and 5 before he got injured. So here are your region standings. May River will drop to 2-1. Hilton Head will move to 3-0. Hilton Head's already beaten Bluffton, already beaten Bishop England, already beaten everybody they need to, and May River now tonight. So they're looking at Beaufort and Colleton County. Beaufort is a fine team. They're not to the level of Hilton Head. Colleton still struggling.
Yeah, and Beaufort down 24-14 at last report tonight to Bishop England. So if you're playing the transitive property game, that looks good for Hilton Head. As you mentioned, Colleton, they're playing everybody tough in the first half. They just don't have enough horses to hang with these teams in the second half, and it starts to get away from them. It was 42-12.
I mean, how many people in 4A have 2 horses like Zarnecki and Richard?
Not many. I mean, South Florence has a whole stable of them.
Yeah,
and
but South Florence is another level of team, and that's that's why you want to get them in the 4th round or something before, and hope that you play one of your best games when you're ready. Too.
Or that maybe somebody else catches lightning and knocks them off along the way. I mean, the longer you get to wait, the better.
Mitchell's best run of the day for 7. They're going to give it to Head again. He's going to get down to the 5 as wrapped up by Josh Bigger, who's going to pull him back. 4:30 left here in the 4th quarter. Hilton Head with the 31-9 lead. May River looking to put some points on the board here. Get some confidence going into that Bluffton game. So critique the Bluffton game for me. Obviously, you've got Warren and Patterson on the outside. Speed, speed, speed. Can May River do this and beat that Bluffton team?
I think they can. It has to unfold a lot like that Bishop England game did, where they really limit the possessions and they just don't let you put up points. And then they've got to be super efficient, take care of the ball in offense. And you know, I think the biggest challenge is that secondary, trying to cover all those weapons, because it's not just Warren and Patterson. There's also Roman Benjamin and Cordell Hawley, and they're just really lethal on offense.
There's the dive up the middle. They're going to get down to about the 1-yard line from May River. You know, on the other side, we saw Bluffton get a little frustrated against Hilton Head, which is a very, as you said, a very good defense. They had the perfect play call set to stop Carnell Warren from going off, and then they lost some composure in there. So it'll be interesting to see how they do against May River, how Coach Gregory really gets them ready after what appears to be a big win against Bishop England tonight.
Actually, they beat Colleton tonight.
Colleton.
Yeah. They still have to play Bishop England, which is also an interesting matchup, because that Bishop England team is pretty solid. They were 3rd in the state before they lost those back-to-back games.
There's Tran. Luke Tran will get in for the score for May River. Nice job by Tran, who's really played well tonight as a quarterback to run the offense. There's just so many horses on the defensive side for Hilton Head, and the fumbles really will be what I think we look back at this game. That's what's going to be the killer.
Yeah, I mean, just 17 free points in the first half off of those fumbles, because you had the one directly leading to a touchdown, the other 2 setting up short fields. Once they punched it in, once they settled for a field goal. But those 17 points coming back to haunt you, trailing by 16 as they line up for the extra point.
You're good at that math thing, Joe.
Yeah.
That was very nice. So you did 17 to 16, it all worked there. So
I was the top individual in the Missouri Southern State University Math League back in my sophomore year in high school.
I didn't know I had such a great math league.
Then I got interested in things other than math.
They're going for 2s, May River. They're going to give it off to Mitchell. No, Tran himself is going to take it in and not quite get there. Mitchell will get it. He's going to get short, just short, so it'll be stay at 31-15.
Well, now you go onside kick, right?
They have to, you would
See
assume.
what happens.
So no give up for this team from May River by any means. Coach Bonneville's going to make sure there. So we'll see what else we got on the Friday night Blitz tonight. A lot of games at 11:15 on WSAV tonight. Many of them with playoff implications. Statesboro, I'm very interested to see what Statesboro can do out there. They've got a lot going on. McIntosh County Academy and Metter, that is a war of people who do not like each other very much. Swainsboro and Vidalia. Swainsboro's looking to be in a position where they can really do some real damage. You talked about that Beaufort and Bishop England game. To see Bishop England winning, they really want to. They got to sneak their way into the playoffs, and they need a couple wins to do just that.
Big win for Hilton Head Prep today. Knocked off St. John's Christian Academy 17-14. Looks like they're going to make the playoffs. Love what Doug McFadden's trying to rebuild over there at Sioux Pines.
So very interesting to see. I want to see what Statesboro can do. We're looking at that Effingham-Statesboro game in a couple weeks, maybe as that last game of the year on Friday Night Blitz. Could be for a region title, so we'll see what Statesboro can put together and see how some of those other teams flesh out as well. So you appear, this looks to be an onside kick. You have one man deep for Hilton Head, everybody else within about 15 yards.
And that's just in case. You don't send him back there, they'll pooch one back there and try to beat you to it.
They will just kick it deep instead, and that'll fly into the end zone over the head of Jeremiah Walters, and
second white flag.
Yeah, interesting. You set it all up, but not take a shot. Coach Bonneville's got some interesting theories on this one right now. I'm a little surprised by that when you get down this close, and you still are 2 scores down. What if you had gotten the, perhaps if you had gotten the 2-point conversion, but you're still 2 touchdowns, 2-point conversions behind.
Yeah, I think you gotta
I'm no math lead, but I figured out that 16 by myself.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see here. Now they're just going to play defense and try to stop them. They do have 2 timeouts left, 3:20 left. We'll see if Hilton Head probably 2 first downs clinches this game. There's Zarnecki. He's going to get to the outside. He'll get one of those first downs all by himself. He's going to rock a tackler and get down to the 35, all the way to the 39-yard line. Big shot. Ethan Seabrook tried to take him down, and Thaddeus said, no, sir.
No.
Watch it one more time. You were talking about angry runs. Boom. Oh. Nothing doing. Take it, make me down, and give me 7 more on that one for Zarnecki.
Thad the Impaler is not just a clever nickname. I mean, he lives up to the nickname. goes through people.
I'm going to give you another nickname, player of the game, because that's who exactly is going to be between his defense and his offense. After that run alone, that's worth it for him, and he's done what he needs to do in a game where really their offense didn't look as crisp as maybe it could have, but excellent job defensively, has walked away with a Seahawks, apparently a Seahawk win.
Yeah, it looks like it. And no, their offense was definitely, this was not the best night for their offense, but May River gets a lot of that credit. They really stopped the run game, didn't really give up anything deep other than Stewart taking that one away. And, you know, they acquitted themselves quite well. It all comes back to those turnovers and the field position it created.
So then look ahead for me one game. If Colleton really has been in most of their games only for about a half, don't want to discount them, but what does Beaufort bring that maybe challenges Hilton Head next week as they really look to lock up that title?
Beaufort's defense is really good, and Chaz Brown up front is a guy who can really wreck a game as Zarnecki.
Speaking
just
of a wrecking ball, that is Zarnecki with another 15-yard gain.
But yeah, that Beaufort defense is salty, and you know, they shut out Colleton last week, and they're quite capable of keeping themselves in a game. And then it just, the question with Beaufort right now is whether they can score enough points to beat you. You know, they've got a nice little quarterback in Braden Lloyd Smalls, who has become kind of the life force of their offense. But outside of that, they don't have a lot going in the passing game, and you know, him freelancing is mostly the running game. So I can't see them knocking off Hilton Head, but certainly stranger things have happened, and those teams have been playing each other for a million years. So you got to throw out the records a little bit when they get together.
Robinson there with the carry. I want to get another shot at BJ Payne. First of all, he's still in the game, no matter what. He's always in the game. But if you look at BJ, my favorite thing is when you get a shot of Coach Payne, he's still got the keys hanging down from his belt. What is he going to open up on the sidelines with his keys that he's got hanging from his belt?
That's just where the keys go, sir.
That's apparently what it is. I'm going to coach the game, but I'm not going to lose my keys while I'm coaching the game.
If the keys aren't there, he doesn't know where the keys are, and that's a problem.
So whatever it is, doesn't matter, because the Seahawks are going to walk away with a win and put themselves in a position basically to lock up the first region title. As Zarnecki going to go again for 14 more. First region title since 2008 for the Hilton Head Seahawks.
Been a good minute. And that was in my blind spot. I was working at USCB during that time, not covering high school sports full time. So I didn't really get to experience that one fully. It's been a long time for BJ Payne.
18 years before BJ came.
Right.
That's how long it was ago, and nobody really on the Hilton Head Island area knows when BJ wasn't here.
That would, oh, well, yeah, they do, because they remember Tim Singleton.
Well, that's true. Tim had a couple
legend,
years.
Tim Singleton.
Couple good years for Tim, you're right.
Local businessman.
But I think if you talk about most of the people in the stands that were the kids, at least, they definitively don't know anything.
Well, the kids don't remember Tim Singleton.
But
the kids certainly don't remember Dan Utley.
18 years means there are kids on this team that weren't born the last time they won a region title.
Yeah, good number of them. Yeah, that's something to think about. And it's been a long time building this program up for BJ. You know, there was a little bit of criticism at times of people who would say, well, he's sending these guys to play D1 every year. Why aren't they winning more games? Well, because it takes a lot more than 3 or 4 guys to win football games, and they're winning them now. This is a great win
now. This is a big win, 31-15. Hilton Head going to take home the win over May River as the clock ticks down to 0. We're going to have much more. We're going to talk to Coach Payne. We're also going to have your performance of the game and your play of the game, as well as full highlights from an exciting one here in the Low Country. Hilton Head, driver's seat for the region title after a big win over May River, 31-15.
Welcome back. Now, more Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week. Here's the O.C. Welch Ford Lincoln postgame show.
Well, this was Seahawk country tonight. No bite from the Sharks when you had the Seahawks out there. They did just what they needed to from the opening drive on to make sure they took home this win and stayed undefeated in the region. Andrew Davis here with Justin Jarrett. Justin, this was a very, very good defensive performance that really led Hilton Head Island to this win.
Yeah, I think they have to feel really good about the fact that they did not have their best stuff tonight, so to speak, and they still got out of here with a convincing win against a quality team, and they're set up with the schedule now to go and finish off that region championship, first one since 2008.
Wow, pretty amazing to think it's now started from that first play, and that is our play of the game. Really, on the first drive, May River got the ball first, looking to drive down the field, but all that happened here was unfortunately a big fumble for the Sharks right into the hands of Thaddeus Zarnecki, and nobody's going to catch him once he's out in the open field.
We might talk about him a little bit more tonight. Thad the Impaler, huge game on both sides of the ball, set the tone early.
You know, very interesting. You get the tighter version there. Just Mitchell never really handled it. Zarnecki ready. Johnny on the spot, taken into the end zone for 6, and really from there, Hilton had never looked back. That was one of 3 fumbles on the day that were picked up by the Seahawk defense, and they were opportunistic and put 2 of those into the end zone after doing it.
Yeah, sometimes you need the ball to bounce your way, and you got to be in the right place at the right time, and they were there all night tonight.
Well, it's the play of the game is sponsored by O.C. Welch Ford Lincoln. If you're looking for a new truck, go see OC today. We're going to talk to Coach Payne as well as get your performance of the game in just a moment, right after the break, right here on the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week.
Welcome back. Now, more of the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week postgame show and OC's top performer.
Well, Coach Bonneville talking to his team after May River comes up short 31-15 here in this home game. They were looking for a region title. Instead, they're going to walk away with a big win, big game next week against Bluffton to try to hold on to a 2 seed right now. But we're with the man of the hour, Coach BJ Payne. BJ, you walked up here, you got a big win, 31-15, but you're never fully satisfied because you don't feel that this was your team's best game even while you win.
Yeah, I mean, you got to always constantly try to get better, right? I thought we played really good defensive ball, but then we gave up that drive at the end, and that's frustrating. We stopped the 2-point conversion, which was huge. But, we had the ball that popped into our lap and we scored on, but we had a second fumble we should have scored on too on a scoop and score, and we had to settle for a field goal that drive. Offensively, we kind of sputtered. We looked like a team that was coming off of a bye week, and you can't have that against. Look, we have the utmost respect for this program here at May River and Coach Bonneville and Coach Powell and the Dyer brothers and everything they do. They do a fantastic job. And, at no point do you ever feel comfortable with the lead. Even though they run the ball all the time, I mean, they're still there because they just wear you down. So, for us, like I said, we have a lot of improvement. We gave up a kickoff return, which is very, very uncharacteristic of us. So we just got to keep getting better and better every single week.
Talk about that defense, though, the big guys up the middle and the linebackers and how they filled those holes. May River really ended up with about 140 total yards other than maybe that last rushing game. Really a great job by the defense.
We're a pretty physical defense. We're really good on the front end, I think. I think our back end ends up getting a lot more hype, but we're a complete defense and they feed off each other, and we have a lot of unselfish guys. Benji Elliott wasn't able to play tonight. Hopefully he's back next week, but Luis Erazo did a great job of playing that other 4-tech, and Hayden Crockett came in too, and really gave us some relief there. So like I said, our guys fly around, but they're, like I said, that is not the easiest. It's absolutely the worst offense to ever prepare for. It's an absolute nightmare.
Well, offensively for you, we were talking about Thaddeus Zarnecki. Another really big game. We've got him as our performance of the game. We're going to look at a couple of the highlights here, Coach. Talk to me through what he does for you in here, inside and outside, and how he's able to do it today.
I mean, he's just such an impact player, right there. He's just always around the ball. You put yourself around the ball, you always hustle, good things are going to happen. I'm a big believer in football karma. We talk about that all the time. And if you're not lazy, and you're around the ball, things like that are going to happen. This is, I think, the run. That's not the touchdown run, but the touchdown run, he came off and said that was Samaje Robinson, who created that. He got that chip right there. He makes somebody miss in the open field, and, he can scoot. But he's an absolute warrior, he's an absolute warrior. He gets after it every day. And, he's never going to be 6'3", 220 pounds, but he's the guy that is a true rock that you lean on. And he's just a phenomenal kid, a phenomenal player, a phenomenal person, huge into his faith. He's just a great all-around kid.
And you love to hit people. What about that hit that he delivered on that run at the end of the game, too, to make sure he clinched it for you?
Yeah, huge. Like I said, he's always putting himself in the right place. And like I said, for our linebackers, this is a tough week, with everything they do with pulling guards and false pulls and being able to recognize things in the backfield but not look in the backfield. We put a lot on our linebackers during this game.
Okay, you don't look ahead, but you're really in the driver's seat with two teams that are unfortunately a little bit understaffed compared to you right now with Colleton and Buford. What would it mean to get this region title? One more win clinches it for you, first since 2008 for Hilton Head Island.
I mean, it'd be huge, but, we don't look ahead. Literally, I just told the kids and that we're going to enjoy this tonight, but literally it's back to work tomorrow. We're going to go up and play a Colleton team who's going to be ready to play us. They're playing physical football this year, and they always have great athletes, and they're going to skim us up, and, they practice too, so it's weird. They got paid coaches and uniforms. They got helmets, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, they got everything. Stadium, the nicest stadium in the Low Country, by the way. But they're going to be ready to play. And I told our kids, we're very fortunate to where, we have put ourselves in a situation, but we can't drop our guard now. We have to finish the job. And, like I told them last week or 2 weeks ago, my goal going into this year, and I know their goal wasn't to be 6-1 and then, fall on our face. We got bigger goals than that, and we got to just keep grinding every single week.
Yeah, BJ, you talked about your linebackers. Will Jimenez was just tremendous tonight. I think we could have easily given him the performance of the game as well. And he and Zarnecki, both just tremendous leaders for this team, right?
Yeah, huge. You know, they're our emotional leaders. You know, we got a lot of guys on defense that make plays that don't say anything. Those two always say something. You know, sometimes it's too much. But they're great. You know, and Will's a kid who has persevered and played. And, you know, I told this story, you know, a while ago. It might have been I was telling you, is that, you know, he was a golfer 3 years ago. You know, literally, like 3 or 4 years ago, he was a golfer. He never played football before. He decided he wanted to come out and play. And, you know, he thought he was a safety and a tailback. And then we learned he wasn't. And then he kind of became a fullback. Then he became a tight end. And then he became a linebacker. But he found his fit. And he fell in love with the weight room. You know, he fell in love with the weight room. And that energized him and made him a believer in himself. And you know, last year was a learning curve for him, but this year he's coming out, he's playing assignment football, so he's doing what he needs to do.
You talked about 15. Can this team go 15 and take home a title?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just worried about getting to number 9 now. And that's not coach speak. I mean, this is the way this team, you know, they know how we are. We're going to come in prepared. We are going to prepare for Colleton the same as we prepared for May River, the same as we prepared for Bishop England, the same we prepared for James Island. You know, the team over the bridge, like, you know, we're gonna prepare for them the exact same. Nothing's dropping off. Like I'm watching film tonight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
You're ready to go. So you want to bring your son in? That's good luck now to bring him in on our post-game interviews. So come on in.
They're actually both here.
They're both here today? You got Gage too?
Gage is here because NC State's got a bye week.
So we like to give them, the last time they were here, when they beat Bluffton, we brought everybody in to make sure. So what do you think? How'd they play today?
Great.
Great?
Yeah.
He's got his big brother's bling on.
I love it. Look at that. So looking out there. All right. Do you think they can go all the way?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. There you go. He's more confident than you are.
Yeah, right. No,
but he doesn't have to coach. That's why.
No, but he's got a game tomorrow, so he's got to get ready for that. So, you know, NC State doesn't play this weekend, so he came down to watch him play tomorrow.
That's awesome.
He came more to watch him than he did to watch me.
BJ, thank you so much. Congratulations on another huge win. Love to see it every time. So keep it coming out here. So, and good luck tomorrow, too.
Thank you.
All right. Well, the performance of the game is brought to you by O.C. Welch Ford Lincoln out there. Find the certified pre-owned car or truck you're looking for online at GoSeeOC.com. And we want to get through those last set of highlights. Justin, we just heard from the man out there, but now it's all about the plays. That Sadius Zarnecki play still will stick through. We've seen it 15 times already. I could watch it 10 more because he was in the perfect place at the perfect
Thing
time.
of beauty. Yeah. The planets aligned.
But May River wasn't to be unbowed on this one. Right back with the kickoff return. One of your little used guys on the upbacks, but did everything you need to, including breaking 3 tackles on the way to the end zone.
Heck of a job by Mason Swigert. Right? They needed a play in that moment. He came up with it and really energized this crowd.
But then they would end up missing this PAT, and you wonder if that sort of affected them. Instead of being tied, they were still down 1 and still down just a little bit. You know, not long way to go at this point, but it's certainly the one of the many mistakes, including this one here with a fumble, the second fumble that Hilton had ends up picking up, and that's going to lead to what else but another Seahawks score.
Yeah, Derek Raniszewski taking it himself. We talked about it pre-game, what he could do with his legs. He didn't run it a lot tonight, but he was effective when he did.
And here it is, fumble number 3. Will Jimenez picks it up. You knew he wanted to go all the way, but he was not able to. That would eventually lead to a field goal for Hilton Head. May River would be able to come back. They got some good chunk yardage in a couple different plays here, 6 at a time here. 6 more. Head had a very good game for them.
Yeah, he continues to develop into that second back along with Sean Mitchell, and they've still got all their goals in front of them. Hudson Tanner sneaking it through with the field goal. They were right in business at halftime.
17-9, only down 8 at half. First drive, though, for Hilton Head Island and Thaddeus Zarnecki. He did everything he needed to. Big touchdown run here. A team leader, even as a junior, and knows when he needs to make it work.
He made huge plays to start the first half and the second half, and they really were the difference in the game.
May River thought they had something going, only down 2 scores with the big stop there, forcing the punt. But then Hilton Head Island really just too much for them late in the 4th. Here's Javen Risher. Bill, as it was, well, he got a dollar bill for getting into the end zone.
Yeah, you could tell at that point May River was really worn down. The depth was starting to take a toll. But they came back strong on offense. Luke Tran getting in the end zone.
Getting in the end zone to put one in, and then it was just a handshake line. Hilton Head Island, not counting the chickens before they hatch. That's not even the right one at all, but it's one of those things in there, isn't it? Counting the chickens before they hatch, is that right? All right, well, whatever it may be.
You got it.
Well, next week we're going to go back over the bridge, over to Savannah, and the Savannah Christian taking on Swainsboro. These are the top two teams in their region. This could result in a region title for one of them, including a Swainsboro team that has put something together right now, but the Raiders have different things on their minds, including bringing home another playoff title if they can. Next week right here on the WSAV CW at 7:30. In the meantime, we're going to celebrate on Hilton Head Island. A big win for the Seahawks, 31-15 over the Sharks. Justin Jarrett, thank you so much. Loco Sports, check them on all of your highlights tonight before the Friday Night Blitz at 11:15 and beyond all week on the interviews and everything else you need. Meantime, no, great game for Hilton Head Island. They're in the driver's seat for the first region title since 2008 and first one in BJ Payne's career here at Hilton Head Island. We've got much more next week right here on the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week.